guys, what is going on? It's Obadiah, and today we are back with another episode of Music or Hideout, the show where we hang out with artists, musicians, and entertainers in Waylon Jennings' old basement studio. As always, I'm gathered here today with co-host Ryan Poole, who I'll pass it to introduce the guest.
So today on the Hideout, we have a very special guest. To my double left is Justin Biltonen, bass player for Three Doors Down, and now solo artist, which we're going to get into. I actually haven't even asked you how long you've been doing the solo thing. So
we like to prepare exactly zero.
It's the best. It's the best. But Justin's been in Three Doors Down for the last 6 years, and was originally from Asheville, North Carolina. And I just asked him earlier if he likes The Family Guy, and he does. And apparently Conway Twitty. And those are some facts about Justin.
More Conway Twitty.
It seems like he doesn't vape, but we never know. He might pull out his fat mod at the
I'm good on vaping.
What are we drinking tonight, Justin?
This is beer from my hometown. Been drinking for a long time from Highland Brewery. It's their Highland Gaelic. It's pretty much their flagship beer. It's been around for a long time.
Yeah,
it's good. Actually,
it's
shoot,
sweet.
You ain't even drinking
finished mine, by the way.
You're drinking another.
So I'm on to the next beer.
You're drinking some peach shit.
And I'm on to the Wallflower Spring Saison from Fat Bottom. I did say it had peach,
that's local,
but
right?
honestly,
Fat Bottom's local, I think, right?
I don't know that it does. It says it has cactus flower. Who knows what that even is?
I don't know, I've had Cactus Cooler. It's like the same thing, right?
Dude, Cactus Cooler is one of the best and most underrated sodas.
Cactus Cooler.
I don't know. Have you had it as an adult, though?
No. You've never had it?
Pretty sure I've had it. The first time I went out west. It's like the orange.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Kool-Aid
like...
kinda.
Yeah, it's like an orange soda kind of thing.
Yeah, it's really not that good if you have it as an adult. As a kid, it's amazing.
As a child, it was amazing. It was like, this is like the fruit punch of sodas.
Yeah. Like, when was the last time you had a Mountain Dew?
Wow, a long time ago. I don't know, junior
Holy
high.
shit, it's like
10 years?
When I wanted to get like jacked out of my mind on
it's like
caffeine.
hummingbird food. It's got 77 grams of sugar in it.
Oh my
Tell you
God.
once, you're like,
That's a lot.
yeah,
Did
make you go fast.
Did you ever have Surge?
Surge?
Remember
Yeah, that was like
Surge?
the Mountain Dew ripoff, right?
Yeah, that was good times. That was like my junior high was like staying up all night at friend's house, so like drinking Surge on computers, watching Family Guy.
Surge.
That's why you are the way you are now.
Yeah, yeah.
Fucked up.
They used to make that with asbestos, man.
But anyways, we always like to start with just the kind of the basic stuff and kind of see where things trail off.
And I should say,
you
tonight's
should say.
show is gonna get deep.
What? Is it? I didn't know about this.
Oh yeah. I mean, on the superficial and very
Thanks, Louise.
surface and basic bitch kind of level, we're going to talk about how Justin was only 14 when Kryptonite came out. So you're like our same age, and I'm stoked to hear about your story is like I shouldn't go deep yet, but like I was like your age playing music too at the time that like we're hearing Three Doors Down on the radio, and somehow you wound up in the band, which reminds me an awful lot of that movie The Rock Star.
Yeah.
And so I want to hear about that shit. That's crazy. But that's just the first level, because this is going to go real deep, and we're getting into some Asheville, North Carolina UFOs later tonight.
Oh, right.
We're getting into crystals,
Man.
all sorts of stuff.
All sorts of ghosts.
All sorts of ghosts?
All sorts of ghosts.
Oh, man. See, I was only told a little bit by Ryan, so I don't even know what we're getting into.
I used to work on a ghost tour.
Oh, my
What?
God.
Yeah.
And we're going to hear all about that. Yeah, the South is a crazy place.
Crazy place. I love it.
Oh, man.
Asheville's the Blue Ridge Mountains.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mountain Mama. All right. Anyway, sorry. Back to your thing. I just foreshadowing.
No, that's a great thing.
Just
It's foreshadowing. Throw a little ad out there in the show. Stay tuned for...
If it's boring right now, it might be better later.
But, so I always start with the basics, which I'm sure you've probably answered before. But, I mean, how'd you just get started in music in general?
My family always... I wouldn't necessarily say we were like a musical family, but my dad sang, my sister sings. Mom was always into music. They were always playing music in the house. We grew up with Elvis, and especially around the like pivotal moments of my music development, like when those times whenever you really start noticing, like, oh, I'm listening to music when you're like 8 to 10, and then going into like middle school and stuff. Was a big '90s country movement for me, and that's like all my dad listened to. He was really into like '80s and '90s country. So especially like when Brooks and Dunn and Alan Jackson, Garth Brooks, Shenandoah, Restless Heart, Little Texas, all those bands were coming around, and that's what Dad had on at the house. And then Mom was always into like '70s, '80s rock, so we had a lot of Bob Seger and AC/DC on too. So it was a very music supportive family, and my mom had this old Ovation guitar that she'd bought in the '70s, and I picked it up because I thought it was cool and started kind of banging around on it when I was 11, and it evolved into this.
Mom's guitar.
Yeah.
Same here.
Really?
Yeah, mom's
Started
guitar.
my aunt's guitar.
There you
That's
go.
close.
Close enough, right?
Some people.
And that's why I suck at guitar.
You needed a mom's guitar.
I know.
Should have been Mom's.
My mom didn't play guitar. She just did a lot of drugs.
There you go.
That's the other side of things.
Which is like, she could have been a great guitarist.
I didn't know we were getting like deep that quick. Like, let's talk about that for a minute.
Well, you know, it's
How did that make you feel?
so good.
That's so good.
Like, permanently.
Still real
Really
bad.
good, yeah.
Still real bad.
I like to tell people I'm a crack baby, which is probably true. Because
You
my
never
hands
know.
always shake a little bit, and I've never been able to stop them. I just assume it's because I'm a crack baby. Anyways.
Might be the
To
vaping.
be fair, have you ever
Yeah, maybe.
have you ever asked your parents if crack was involved
Well, my dad used to sell
during
meth.
the time of your birth? Okay.
My mom, I don't know. I know my mom and dad met because she was dealing drugs to my dad. Then they
I
both
didn't know it
got
was
into
going to be
business.
this kind of party, man.
They
Damn.
both got into business.
should've warned me.
Who knows?
Speaking of parties, this is amazing to me. So, for those who are not regular listeners of the show, and we don't bring it up as much recently because they've been chill, but upstairs is a fraternity. Sigma Alpha Epsilon? Is that right?
Yeah,
SAE?
SAE, yeah, that's right.
They're terrible. And we've had a number of podcasts where it's just,
You hear, what the
we're
fuck?
like texting them, could you stop? We're literally doing a thing like, we're almost done.
They're never
not
almost
We're
done.
never almost done.
But what was amazing was Justin came to the studio for an interview for a print publication, Live Love Nashville, with Laurel Moore. Like
Who we've talked about on the show
a
before.
while ago, a month ago or something. And so that's how we met. And what was awesome was when you came in, you literally pulled out your phone and like, dude, I went up to that house upstairs first, and you had taken a picture on your phone of just how ridiculous it was.
It was something.
What was it? It was like
Whew.
a billion red Solo cups and
Yeah, I mean, it was totally trashed up there. Like they've been getting down for a while.
like a decade.
They've been going hard, and I was like, where is this happening? Like I
That's
did
what you
not-
were doing the interview.
I couldn't believe. I walked over and I was like, holy shit.
I
I
thought
was like,
this
she was a really
studio.
nice lady. I don't know. Like, what is this?
This is her house. She just gets trashed.
Come on in.
Why don't you wait here while I put on something more comfortable? You see Laurel
That's
like
the
that.
opposite of Laurel's.
I know.
100%.
The typical Laurel, just completely drunk out of her mind
Typical.
and just coming out and just kidding. No, that is the opposite of Laurel.
Yeah.
Laurel's great. I know she's gonna listen to this. Laurel, you're amazing. Maybe the best woman on the earth.
Wow.
You're a very nice lady.
And
You
so
don't live in a frat house.
As far as you know, she still could, just not this one.
Yeah, I mean,
she's in
maybe
Alpha Beta Gamma.
She belongs to a different fraternity. She's like a 38th year senior.
38.
That's amazing. So, anyhow, you rolls up and he's got his phone. He like it was, and this is my point of my story. The party upstairs and how trash they left their room was so ridiculous that you, an actual rock star, looked at and you're like, "Oh fuck that! That's ridiculous."
I've seen some shit. That was special. What they're doing up there should be documented. I'm waiting for like Vice to come around and do some kind of like Nashville fraternity.
Would you say it was
Tell
Joe
all.
Walsh, Joe Walsh level?
They just check that backyard. Ain't no telling what's buried back there.
Oh, they've had some stuff going on in that backyard.
I bet.
St. Patrick's Day, there was like 10,000 cups and beer bottles and everything left on the ground.
Good for them, man.
Yeah. And they've also drunkenly broken into the studio twice, right?
They have, yeah. Yeah.
Good times.
Anyway, I hope they're all expelled. But anyway, back to you and your music career. That was just a story I didn't want to pass up. Oh, and by the way, I thought about that. It was like maybe a few days later, and when I thought about it in that context, I'm like, a rock star looked at their shit and thought it was fucking ridiculous. Whoa. And I'm like, I want to confront them with that. But because they're college kids, they would take that as a badge of honor. Like, yeah, we did it!
We did it.
And so I'm not telling
totally
that ever.
dealership. Yeah, bro. That's cool, man.
We're partying to the next level. So we were on Mom's guitar and we got sidetracked.
Yeah, as we do.
Because you were deprived of a mom who could give you a guitar.
That's right.
You had to use an amp guitar.
And that's why I'm terrible at guitar, right?
Right.
Dance guitar.
Yeah, it's rough. I still have it.
That's good.
Yeah, it's really cheap. Cheap like Sunlight, little just piece
Sorry, man.
Yeah.
So your mom gave you a guitar and then you called up 3 Doors Down and you were like,
Like the next day.
guys, could I be in the
I was like, look, I'm 14.
They're like, all right.
That's how it went down, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much exactly.
But yeah, exactly. Like to a T. That's going to be in the biography. That's the VH1 behind the music.
Does that exist still? There's no way, right?
No, I don't think VH1.
Maybe.
VH1 is probably just a reality show.
Right.
It's like some form of The Bachelor
Yeah.
party down south or like
With literally
something weird.
zero music.
Yeah, no music.
Yeah.
So-
Yes, we are eating Hattie B's. No, I did not get you any.
That's his wife.
My wife immediately comes in the chat. She's like, you eating Hattie B's?
Thanks for contributing to the chat.
Yeah.
5 minutes and she's already sick of your shit.
I have an extra half pimento. If you want to come down here and get it, that would be weird.
That would be weird.
Grabs food and leaves.
Yeah.
Doesn't say a word.
She's like,
But so how did that actually happen? So you started, you're playing guitar. So about when did you pick up that guitar? You're like 8, 10?
yeah, so I was about 10 or 11, started
Okay.
playing. Kind of evolved to wanting to play electric because that was way cooler.
Obviously.
Started kind of jamming around with people at school. This was probably like 7th or 8th grade. Drank that beer too fast. 7th or 8th grade, started kind of jamming around with people, and I think that was a big part of my development was that I was playing in bands like before I even knew what the fuck I was doing. Because like everybody wanted to play, and everybody, especially around when I was in 8th grade, that's when I started like kind of getting away from my parents' music. I was getting into like punk and ska and hardcore, and
Yeah.
like just wanted to make loud noises and scream at stuff, and that's started falling in with other people in my school and that were doing that too. And then at that same time, when I was growing up, I was it's in the South, so I was like really active in church, and started playing music with the church band too. Like it was a Baptist church, but they had like pretty
I was
alternative.
a drummer in a church band.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a big way that a lot of people, especially in Nashville, like everybody I'd
like
write
a lot
with
of
or come in contact with, was like, yeah, I played in church. And I think growing up in the 90s and early 2000s, that was a big thing where like it went from hymns to this like kind of alternative, like DC Talk was huge, and Third Day came out, and it was like putting out cool Christian songs. And that's when like churches start kind of switching over, and we're playing that to bring in the skater kids, and started kind of.
That's how they got me.
Yeah.
DC Talk was my favorite band for like years.
Yeah. I mean, church I went to, everybody was like skateboarding, and it was like, you guys remember MXPX? And
Oh yeah.
Like there's all these like Five
My
Iron
best friend
Frenzy.
has
and-
MXPX guy tattooed to his
Oh, that's great.
his chest. Yeah. Or maybe it's this side. Anyway, somewhere on there. Ship MXPX guy. Anyway.
That was definitely like some early days was getting into like this, like, well, just kind of alternative music, but that was acceptable, and like the parents weren't afraid to listen to it, but you could still get kind of like that angsty punk rock vibe, and then that evolved into just straight up like the most evil metal shit I could find. Like as I got older.
Can you play Chick Magnet on the bass?
I can hear it in my head, and I'm trying to. I don't know if I could. I might be. If I sat down with it for a second, I think I could probably remember it.
Yeah.
Because there's a couple Green Day songs I can just like randomly start playing, and I'm like, why do I remember that?
Yeah.
But
Green Day was the best.
yeah, I was really into like Blink-182.
Oh yeah.
And, like,
Us too.
Yeah, well, I mean,
just-
they were from where we were from.
oh yeah, that makes sense.
So
But that, especially too, because like at that time, whenever they came out, they were just super offensive, and I was like, yeah, let's drive around with the church
Right.
kids got to put this on and
being
hear
all
some cuss
angsty.
words and be like, yeah, as well, it's cool. But we were just goofy, just goofy ass kids. But that taking it like I kind of got out of sports in middle school too. I played basketball for a little while, but then once I started playing in church and running around with the kids that were playing music, that's when I just kind of focused on that. And I always wanted to play music, and I always tried to start bands, and I was always getting kicked out of bands and like starting other ones, and like always playing. I was just playing as much as I could, whether I was good or not. And I ended up being in like 3 different ska bands, like full horn sections.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I was a singer for one, like right out of high school. I was a singer for one, and we'd play around my hometown all the time. And like, I hope to God those recordings aren't anywhere. They're gonna creep out somewhere on the internet. But
What was the band? And what was the band called?
it's called Know Your Fucking Business.
Like somebody get to googling that shit.
No, we were called the Carcinogens.
Somebody is
And,
right now.
Carcinogens.
yeah, we had
That's
we
a
had, like,
great name.
full horn section. And it was fun, man. We had a good time.
Horn,
It's
horn
less about
section
it's
in
less about
Asheville,
finding
North
the music.
Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, we had a pretty good group of people that were into that kind of music, and it was fun. And it's less about finding the music and more about please don't ever find those pictures.
I've heard. I have a friend who's I'm pretty sure he's from Asheville. But anyway,
What's his name?
this is like years ago. Matt Kraushorn.
Totally know that guy.
Really?
No.
No.
I was like, damn.
You had me going for a second.
Yeah, who else?
My small world.
Isn't Rhett and Link from there too? You know them? Yeah, well.
I think they're from a different place in North Carolina.
I know they're from North Carolina,
But I don't know.
but I know that's the extent of my North Carolina
Gotcha.
knowledge. That's it. That's
North
all I know.
Carolina's rad.
Yeah?
Well,
It's got some cool spots.
Is it?
Yeah.
He told me
I know you
that-
mentioned craft beer.
He told
pretty
me
decent
that
there now.
Asheville is kind of like he paralleled in his head to California as being kind of similar vibes,
Yeah,
similar
Finn
feels.
used to be, and once you get like 5-10 miles out of downtown, it turns back into like just kind of a southern state in the mountains and normal people. With like, you get up into downtown and it gets wacky, Jack.
Yeah.
You got some- they're on the forefront of everything. Like any kind of alternative movement you can think of, they got it.
They
And they're
don't
about
want to
it.
be there
And
first
there's-
day.
And God bless them, there's a place for it. Like,
And it's called
on
Asheville,
them.
North Carolina.
it's called Asheville, North Carolina.
And all of California.
And all of California.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm a little okay. So this might just be completely ignorant of me, and it's a weird geography question.
Oh, shit.
I didn't study.
Yes.
I got to tell you guys, I'm a flat earther.
Are you really?
So hold your geography questions. I don't want to prove you guys wrong or anything.
Wait. So wait. I don't know. After what we talked about earlier, I don't know if you're lying or not. You got to clarify that shit.
No, I'm talking.
I was like, all right, we're taking a whole different turn here. We're taking a whole new line of questioning.
What's great is like
I was really hoping I could use that on something.
that was,
I'm telling you,
this
like,
is the right place.
speaking of that, like, I really feel like they're missing an opportunity to like trademark and sell the Flobe.
The Flobe. It's just a plate.
Yeah,
The
Flobe, the
Commemorative.
flat globe,
Yeah.
the Flobe,
The Flobe.
or the Flatlas. I mean, there's a marketing scheme there somewhere. Is that Mark Sargent?
I'm eating my mac and cheese. I feel deceived.
I'm waiting for somebody to pop up on here and be like, "Hey, come on, man.
It's real.
You know this shit's flat."
Well, we actually, as a podcast, we have stated our view. We believe in a two birth.
That's right.
Tubular. It's a tubular.
Yes.
None of that basic shit. Flat, round. No, come on.
Clearly a
why are you
tube.
being so binary here? Like the Earth lives
So
on a
binary.
spectrum.
Like a giant tree-covered tunnel.
Yes, exactly. That's
Long
what
Earth.
this is.
Oh my god! Yeah,
long-
but I legit I wasn't sure if you for a minute.
Right.
Man,
Y'all's reaction was awesome.
especially because I just yesterday I watched Alex Jones on Joe Rogan's podcast.
We were
That
talking
dude's a
about
trip.
flat Earth,
And that's
earlier.
what
It's
it's
a trip.
all about. You know what I mean? And I was like, dude, this is totally possible.
And whoever whatever a guest politics are not gonna or beliefs or whatever. I'm not gonna sit here and shit on them. I'll listen to you. I watched
Flat
a
Earth, you should probably shit on. I'm just saying.
That's where the line
That's
is
what
drawn.
I feel like you could probably get after. Him
all right,
good.
you gotta go.
Yeah, no, come on, man. Come on.
I watched a documentary recently about flat earthers.
Was it on Netflix?
Probably, I'm sure
It's
it was.
something about something the curve. Or,
Yeah, that sounds
yeah,
about right.
that's the one I just
Something
watched it too.
Did you?
But it was good.
Yeah.
It was a good documentary, and it kind of humanized them a little bit for
Yeah,
me
yeah.
to be okay. It mostly painted them as people looking for something to belong to, and maybe aren't really strictly sticking to science.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that kind of sums up a lot of that stuff, and also later on in the show when we talk about some of the weird kind of paranormal stuff,
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
a lot of that, because you find those communities and it's kind of the same communities, everybody's oh, I've got this conspiracy theory and I'm the only one that's figured it out, I'm part of this elite group.
Yeah.
And I think it's people really wanting to belong to something and really and then they find that whenever they go to those conventions, when they get on the internet's
Yep.
series of tubes that connect all of us, and they find other people with their wacky fucking ideas, and all of a sudden they're bonded and
They're a team.
reaffirmed.
And the crazy thing though is they might be right sometimes.
Yeah,
You know, we don't know. They might be right. It's possible.
I don't know about ghosts. Jerry's out on ghosts, man.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? I don't know. It could be. I mean, even if it's not ghosts, it could be
Lizard
even
people
know.
living in
lizard people.
Lizard people.
We might have never gone to the
Underground areas of
moon. You know, maybe we've never been to the moon. I don't know. I've never been there to check. You know what I mean?
I've never been to the moon.
No, no, you should go. It's really
Wait.
cool. I don't know.
None of us have been to the moon.
Does it even
And they
exist?
Couldn't possibly be true. Though. Couldn't possibly be true.
It's a hologram.
They got all 450,000 people that worked at NASA at the time to
lie.
really keep that under wraps.
Now, speaking of
I
ghosts,
saw a thing that said that the moon was a hologram.
it probably is.
shit.
And it's
That makes sense to
covering
me.
up. It's a hologram the government put up to cover up the fact that there's all these civilizations on the moon.
Oh shit.
So, if you could really point your telescope at the moon, you would see the New York City of the moon.
That's cool.
Moon York City.
New York City.
I wonder why nobody in ancient history talked about that.
They had bad
Before
eyes.
they had
they couldn't
holographs.
see it. Well, they didn't have any glasses by
Oh,
then.
man, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. That's how I see it. But so you mentioned ghosts. Now you mentioned to us earlier. You used to do ghost tours.
Yeah, I worked on one. It was like a trolley tour. Worked on it for a little while. It was mostly in the fall. Fall around Asheville's a good time, and the hometown's always been kind of steeped in weird shit. And there's ghost stories, and people have always talked about quartz deposits that do energy fields, and just all sorts of it's really old land too. Some of the oldest mountains in the world are the Appalachians, and a lot of old Native American tribes have been in and around that area, and then stuff that predated them, and just really old land. So growing up, it was we've always heard wacky stories,
sorts of crazy stuff,
Yeah,
huh?
and there's just always I think every town has got those little fun legends, and I think that's one of my favorite things about touring is getting out and trying to see some of those places, or go find the kind of cool historical stuff. But growing up, we always had that ghost stuff, and especially in the South too. I think that's always been.
So did you ever see a ghost then?
I don't think I've ever seen one. I've heard some weird stuff.
Okay.
I've seen something that might have been a UFO. I think that was the closest to paranormal that I've seen.
Okay. So do you think? So do you believe ghosts are real or not?
I don't know. Every now and then, kinda do.
You could leave it open to the possibility.
yeah.
You're not shutting it down.
Yeah, I'm not going to completely shut it down.
Okay.
I think there's definitely stuff that we don't understand, and I think there's a possibility that it's a like I like the idea that it's like a movie reel kind of thing. Like maybe not necessarily like a intelligent haunting, like someone's walking around and like I want to scare these kids, Woo, like
Just having a good time.
like you think about like people do the same thing over and over again. We all have energy, like we all have like measurable energy forces, and if you die, it's got to go somewhere. Maybe it leaves like kind of like this reoccurring thing, like because 9 times out of 10, like people see a ghost and it's like somebody walked through this wall, and it's like or somebody walked through the kitchen. It's like how many times did that person walk through the kitchen?
Right.
You know, so I mean, to me that seems a little more plausible. Like it's some kind of weird scientific thing that we either can't read or understand or have the technology to figure out yet. But
Rather than like a Scooby-Doo villain.
I like that idea too. That's
I hope it's Scooby-Doo. I hope it's because in Scooby-Doo, it's always like some rich guy trying to like get real estate for cheap. Like that's always the plot.
Yeah.
And I hope that's what it is in real life too.
There was like
Yeah.
a real estate focus in the 60s, apparently.
that took a
According
weird
to
turn.
Scooby-Doo.
Oh. It's like, man, we're covering
yeah.
some ground.
We are not. Okay.
Yeah,
We've been
we
here
start
for
out
about 30
full force.
minutes.
We start with my mom does drugs.
About to run out of
Roll
shit to talk about.
For the next 30 minutes, we will be talking about 1960s real estate. Now, the dollar at the time was very strong. No, I think it's about that time. We should probably play a
I
song.
was gonna say we usually try to start with a song, but then we
man.
like forget.
we got a good breadth of conversation. I think we just got in here and we're like, let's just see what we can do,
Yeah.
and we just ran a mile.
So, what are you playing for us?
I'm a spooky ghost. It's my ghost song. Boo. Boo. I'm a spooky ghost.
Boo.
I hope that was enough for you guys.
Oh, it's so good.
Dude, that's the first time that Boo has ever had a double entendre to it. In all of history. It just happened.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you.
Made
for that.
history. We should call Guinness World Book of Records.
Yeah.
Call whoever
sure-
makes
no.
this
Just had a double
Encyclopedia
meaning.
Britannica.
I'm sure they tuned in already.
They're already watched. They've already noted.
Yeah.
So what are we gonna hear?
We did the first single that I put out. This was kind of going back to what we were talking about with my musical stuff that I've done in my line of work. I guess this was the first song that I wrote it with my buddy Todd Hancock from a band called Adair's Run. And it's the first song I was like, man, I really like the song. I kind of want to do it for me. And recorded it. I was like, this is cool. And I played it for my friends and they were like, this is cool. You should put this out. And that's kind of what sparked me doing my own solo stuff. So the song's called Use You.
Okay.
And yeah, I'll try not to mess it up. I feel like I haven't played it in a minute. So
Well, to be fair, it's your song, so if you mess it up, it's just what you meant to do.
cool, we can go back and just take it out. You guys ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
Alright, cool. I could use a tank of gas on an open road, headlights pointing where I need to go, but that ain't where I'm going. I could use an open tab, drink 'em down real slow, with all my friends to just say no when you call me up on the telephone. But that ain't how this goes. I'm doing what I do every time you hit me up at 3 a.m. on a Friday night. Cause you just know I'm in my truck when you hear my voice on the other line. I give it every time, even though I know this love's a lie. But I don't need one drink just to tell the truth. I could use you using me. I could use your best friend to tell me you don't feel the same, hell it's over too. But we both know that never works. I could use the good book and a strong verse, so I ain't tempted by your words. But there ain't no bar stools in a church. That's why you got me, girl, just doing what I do every time you hit me up at 3 a.m. on a Friday night. 'Cause you just know I'm in my truck when you hear my voice on the other line. I give it every time, even though I know this love's a lie. But I don't need one drink just to tell the truth. I could use you using me. I could use a tank of gas on an open road, headlights pointing where I need to go. When I'm just doing what I do every time you hit me up at 3 a.m. on a Friday night. 'Cause you just know I'm in my truck when you hear my voice on the other line. I give it every time, even though I know this love's a lie. But I don't need one drink just to tell the truth. I could use you using me.
So we definitely got sidetracked, as we do. But it's kind of our specialty. It's kind of our specialty.
No, that was one of the better ones.
That was a good sidetrack.
Yeah,
Cool.
we went really hard. And
Yeah. Go hard in the paint.
But we last left off your story. You were playing in bands everywhere,
Yeah.
right? You were in the ska band called
ska.
the Carcinogenics.
The None You Fucking Business, I believe it's called.
So don't Google search that.
Yeah, if anyone's real quick on the computer. But so how to get from there to being in Three Doors Down? That's a big jump.
So from there, I started playing in another band that I started, the guy I know from back home, and it was called The Campaign, 1984, and did that for like 9 years. Like,
Oh wow.
DIY in a van, playing bars. It was back when you could book a whole tour on MySpace. And like they had these features where you could.
For the young people, MySpace was like Facebook before Facebook.
No. For the young people. Hold on.
Sorry for the young people.
Yeah, it's
Facebook is like Instagram, but with statuses, which is like MySpace.
Everybody knew this guy named Tom.
Instagram is
Tom. I've thought about Tom in like 20 years.
Nobody
It's
has,
kinda
man.
like
I don't know what he's
Snapchat.
doing. I hope he's okay.
He's probably living just fine.
I'm sure he's fine.
I'm sure he's doing great.
Thanks for all the money. Zuckerberg can take all the press. Everybody hates Mark Zuckerberg now. Like he's like
The guy's a raging douche.
the world's #1 enemy.
I get it. I get it, man. He's doing it.
Dude, I saw
He's
that.
doing it right.
I saw that movie.
Yeah, they did not paint him in a good light at all.
He's just a fucking nerd. He's just your standard nerd who made a thing, and now everybody wants him to be the spokesperson for the world. But it's because he decided to try to connect the whole world and then sell them shit.
To be fair, he didn't.
And then-
he tried to connect like
I think there's more
College
to it than
girls.
that.
yeah.
There's a little bit more to that story.
I don't know. I saw the movie 5 years ago. I'm sure I have a total
Yeah,
understanding.
you got your expert.
practically. Just put that in your resume.
Yeah.
Facebook
expert.
historian.
Sit on
Historian.
sit on like a panel for the
So
news.
Tom helped you book your tours.
Yeah, there's like features that you could hit up all the bands in one like area code or by a city, and you just reach out and be like, hey, y'all want to trade shows, or if we're playing, can we come open up? And like we made a lot of good friends and a lot of connections, and it's kind of how we started coming to Nashville too. So
What kind of band were you?
it's like a heavy kind of gravelly southern rock.
Nice.
A lot of guitar work, a lot of riffs, a lot of songs about Satan and cocaine and just weird shit.
The works.
Yeah, just,
Our
driving
new
around.
album, Satan and Cocaine.
Yeah, same. The devil and drugs and shit. So I mean, we're driving around in a van, making no money, just doing it for beer, pretty much, and actually got to see most of the country doing that somehow. I don't know how we did it. Like, I mean, it was like we'd print out MapQuest directions and have a big binder of MapQuest directions. No smartphones. Like I think that was while I was doing that was when I first got a phone that could text, and that was crazy.
So how'd you know where you were if you had no smartphone?
A fucking map. Read a sign.
Yeah, like I can't even drive to
How the fuck
work.
you think they did it before the smartphone?
I mean, when my first car, I had one of those Thomas Brothers maps, those like big books. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I had one of them. I could, like, if you gave me one of those nowadays, I'd be fucking lost. I wouldn't know what to do.
I'd probably figure it out.
I don't know if I could. I don't know if I'm smart enough for that.
I was MapQuest. I mean,
I think you'd surprise yourself. You pick it up and be like, all right, cool.
you're like,
Yeah,
holy
some
crap,
kind of like,
this line looks just like Hillsborough Road.
yeah, some kind of like primal thing kicking, like picking up a map or like I need to start a fire in the woods to survive. Like you just somehow like there's some kind of primal DNA thing in there. It's like I can read a map. I do not need a
I
cell
hope
phone.
so. I'm glad you have so much confidence in my map reading
I hope so,
abilities,
man.
man. It really makes me feel good deep
Hope so
inside.
for the both of us. But yeah, so MySpace booking tours. We did that for like 9 years, and in that time we ended up with the same management as Three Doors somehow, because we were not like a radio friendly band at all. It was just kind of crazy, and during that time we started recording with Chris Henderson, the guitar player for Three Doors. This was going on over 10 years now. And I made friends with everybody and just kind of kept up with everybody for a couple years after that. And back up a little bit. So doing the heavy Southern rock stuff, I'd often end up driving at like 2 in the morning. And during that time, you don't really want to put on like Lamb of God or something and sit there and like get screamed at 2 in the morning. So
Unless you're falling asleep on a road trip.
that was really like when I turned 20, 21 and like really started like drinking heavy at bars and driving and playing shows, and we're trying to be on the road as much as we could. That's when I really started like kind of gravitating back towards those country roots that I had. And started listening to the music that I used to listen to, and like diving into some of the older stuff like Waylon, who's one of my favorites.
Whose
and,
ghost is here?
I hope so. Hope he's hanging out.
Speaking of ghosts, me and artists were like hanging out in the other room one day, and on at least 2 occasions, like all of a sudden there's just like this banging sound, like the plant like knocked around. Now it might have been a rat.
There's a solid chance it's a rat.
Waylon. You never know.
Or it might have been Waylon.
But no rat was ever found, and I'll tell you this. I put out a rat trap. We loaded it on this show, actually.
We did. We had one of our
somebody bought a rat trap. We had to learn on the show how to. It was very scary, but it's still sitting in the other room, never touched. The rat was never found.
And the rat was
Waylon's ghost.
Maybe. I mean, out of all the places Waylon's hanging out as a ghost, I don't think this is the one.
Dude, he used to live here. This is the best place.
Did he used to live here?
It's
Plus,
ghosts.
he likes
Who
me.
knows what ghosts can do?
That's true.
Maybe they can be in everywhere.
Hey, I mean, he's omniscient.
Yeah.
Wow. He's always watching him.
Omnipresent ghosts.
Waylon's always watching.
Mine's always one. But yeah, so at that time, I'll keep us on track. It's fine, guys.
I try my hardest to pull us off track at every opportunity.
You'll have to be the one.
So I started getting back into country, and then especially at that time, I really got into drive-by truckers and started getting into some more of that kind of alt country stuff, and I always liked the stuff that was on the radio because there was a lot that I grew up with, and then like cool stuff like Jason Aldean, Dierks Bentley coming out and all that. But finding some of those guys that were just like super prolific, really interesting songwriters, like Jason Isbell is one of my absolute favorites. And around that same time, he split off from Drive-By Truckers and started doing his own thing. And I was working security at a club back home called the Gray Eagle, and I worked there for 5 years and got to see some amazing music. But when he first split off, he was doing, every time he toured, he'd come through there. So I got to see him like with 400 or 500 people in a room, and I was hooked. And that's around the same time I started coming here and writing country, and started that whole process too. So there was kind of like all these weird little things that kind of happened at once that started steering me into different directions. So yeah.
So then you met it up. Now, were you a fan of Three Doors Down before you were part of the band?
Yeah, I always liked their music. I definitely had a big time where I got away from anything that was on the radio. Like if it was on terrestrial radio, I was like, nah, I'm good. But for some reason, I always was like they had great songwriting. A lot of their stuff always reminded me of that kind of like good, just like personal storytelling songwriting. And it always, like, I always liked them.
Yeah.
There was always, like, you'd hear a song and I wasn't necessarily, like, cranking out their CDs and like, yeah, let's listen to this. But like you hear a song and like, be like, that's a good fucking song, man. Mm-hmm. And be just driving around, something would come on, like Let Me Go or something, and you'd be like, that's a good song. When I'm Gone, it's a great fucking song. And all that stuff, it was just always kind of in the back of my mind, like listening to it or it'd come on. And then once, around that same time too, one of my best friends growing up, Darren Searcy, he started working with the old management, and he was their day-to-day manager, just kind of out of the blue. It was a job he got. He went to Belmont for music management and stuff, and that was one of the first jobs that he got. And me and him grew up together, so he always worked with the band, and he was like in my old band for a minute, and then he kind of switched to a management role and was helping, and that was kind of how I got introduced to the band in the first place. Was he randomly started working with him. And I think a big thing too is once I actually like met the guys, and especially like Brad and Chris and Greg, all those guys, they were just cool. They're always cool to me. Nobody's weird. Like even in the kind of bigger party days when I first met them, but everybody's cool. And like after you kind of meet some of those artists, and you're like, wow, I've heard these guys for years, and they're actually pretty cool. Like you got a whole new respect for them. So that helped a lot.
Yeah, it helps when somebody you've heard of before, somebody who has a platform, when they're actually cool and not a dick.
Absolutely.
Right, because from what people hear, there's a lot of celebrities who are like that, or a lot of people who you're fans of.
Oh, yeah.
So you never know what you're going to get.
Been disappointed many times.
Yeah?
Yeah, but I mean, people are people. I never hold it against anybody if they're a douchebag. You
just be having a bad day.
They're having a bad day.
Yeah, that's fair.
Just ignore them. Go on. I'm sure I've been a dick to somebody inadvertently or on purpose. I don't know. But I try not to be, and if I was, I'm sorry. If you're listening. Sometimes you just catch people on a bad day. I think, too, like, you got to, like, a big thing I learned from the guys is, like, whenever you meet people, like, that may be the 10,000th person you've met that week, but to them, this is like all month they've been looking forward to coming to your show. They've been excited about it. So do your absolute best not to be a dick to people. Just be cool. And it goes a really long way for your fans and just for people in general. Because you don't ever want to be that one that, like, you were an absolute dick and it, like, ruins that person's month and they never come back.
Like they've been waiting for months, for you to come to their town, like the whole deal. Yeah,
you don't have to be totally fake all the time, or like, just be cool, just be normal. Goes the same for fans. If you're out there, just be cool. Like everybody's people, everybody's going through stuff. So it's, cut them some slack. And I think that's a good way to kind of approach anybody.
No, it's probably tough when I assume there's probably some crazy fans.
We got some good ones.
Yeah?
We got some good ones. That's some very,
anything particular stand out-ish?
Not really. Everybody's really cool. We got really dedicated fans, and I think the band's been around long enough. I think probably in the early days they had some like really wacky ones that were just like
makes
crazed.
Sense,
And I think that kind of goes the same for anybody that like just suddenly blows up. Like here's this band that's huge, like absurd. Who's popular now? I don't know. Justin Bieber still? I don't know. Like
I think he's.
I haven't heard about him in a while.
I feel like like he blew up and they probably had some like wacky fans that were like, I got you tattooed on my face and I'll be at every show. But then it kind of turns into like, all right, cool. Like I've seen these guys enough. I'm like they're still a big part of my life. I love their music and I'm gonna go and just be cool. And I think it's the band's gone long enough to where like everybody shows up is just cool. Like I go out and talk to a lot of the fans, especially when we go out and sign stuff, and you'll run into them at shows, and everybody's cool. It's rare that I'm like, man, like, get me away from this person. Just, I don't know. It goes back to just being cool with people.
Who's an artist. It will go unnamed, so we can't pinpoint this person. But this artist friend has a fan that the people around the artist have named.
Uh-oh.
That's how prolific this fan is. Her name is DNA Darla.
Oh, Lord.
DNA Darla.
Her name's Darla. That's the first part of how she got that name. The second part is she, after his shows, she would like buy his shirts that either, I don't know if it was from eBay or
like off his back.
I don't know how she contacted him, but she would try to buy his shirt, or she would buy his shirts. In fact, maybe they offered him. Maybe they said, hey, we'll sell you the shirt he wore at the show. And she would specifically request, please do not wash it. I want to preserve his DNA.
You just said this name.
All right.
that you were
You
trying
didn't
not
say
to
a
do.
last name.
Moving
so-
on. I didn't say last name. It could be anyone in the world.
Sure, could be anyone.
Anyway, I'm pretty sure I heard she's no longer a fan anyway because of
Did
other
you make fun of her
reasons.
on this podcast?
That's why she listens every week.
As of now, she just texted me. I want my DNA
Fuck you,
back.
Ryan.
That's her right there. Look, she's popped up.
Exclamation point! Exclamation point! Exclamation point!
Actually, speaking of which, we got.
Did you just hear the door?
I haven't said. Sorry, people. I've been ignoring all your highs. Hi to everybody who's in the chat. But we got Justin in the chat. He's actually another Justin.
Oh, cool.
He's our next guest on Friday. So what's
Solid
going
name.
on? Yeah, people
What's
seem
his
to like
last
it.
name?
Erholtz?
Oh, no, that guy.
No?
No. Caught me on that one.
One of these days.
I know
One of
all
these
the
days, you're
Justins.
definitely gonna
I know
know.
everybody from Asheville, North Carolina. I know everybody named Justin. That's how that works.
This person, Ocean
Lily?
Lily. Oh, that's Lily.
Yeah.
Lily says that she can't even read Google Maps because she's Gen Z.
Yeah.
She can't.
That's
touch
embarrassing.
it. I'm sorry. Sorry about that, Lily. Is
I
Floppy
feel like
Dongus
that's
here?
an easy fix.
Justin
though.
says, "Yeah, you do know me. Don't lie, brother." Hey, Carousel7, thanks for the follow. The
We got Liz in the chat. What up?
yeah, we got Liz, we got Floppy, we got Nui. Hi, everybody. Floppy Dongus, Ocean Lily, Bryson B, all the way from the UK. I'm not going to scroll all the way up. Karinsky 23, Kevin Prowse. Not going to scroll all the way up, but I'm sure, just assume I said hi to you and that I appreciate you more than anyone else I talked to already.
Whoever you are.
Whoever you are. But, anyways.
So you were in
You
campaign
were saying.
1984, and you got in the same management as Three Doors, and so you got to know the guys that way. But how did that go from they know of you to you're actually literally in the band?
Yeah,
Another interesting chain of events.
it's the best kind.
I mean, it's all public records. I don't ever feel like I'm talking bad, but their old bass player killed somebody in a drug and alcohol related car accident here in Nashville, and he went to prison and continues
needed a new
to
guy.
do so. It's been like a 6-year ongoing saga with this dude.
Wow.
Every year he does some new fun thing and goes back to jail or something. But
Wow.
he did that. They called me up and said, "We're considering you. You think you could kind of figure out how to play bass?" Because
You weren't playing bass at that time?
So you were playing guitar this whole time? Oh my
God.
And
Oh, wow.
I think I'd picked up a bass once or twice at church
Wow.
Wow.
years before that. And
So you're frantically I gotta figure out bass.
yeah,
I gotta get a bass.
You're on that
yeah.
YouTube.
Well, the guy who played bass in my old band, The Campaign, he's one of my best friends, and we were living together at the time in Asheville. He was playing bass for us, and he's actually on our staff now. He's
That's cool.
backline crew chief. He's a stage manager. He wears a bunch of hats with us, but he's been working with us for 5 years now. But which was kind of fun getting him to
Yeah, that's super
come
cool.
along this whole thing
Yeah.
with me.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And awesome guy, but he had his basses there, and I remember I got called and they were like, "You have to keep this on the down low. Like, we don't know what's gonna happen." Like, it was a whole huge
Way to
thing.
spoil it by coming on a podcast.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, everybody knows now.
Right,
but
yeah. It's been several years.
It's been several years. But I remember we were hanging out at the house, and I just picked up a bass and I slumped back to my bedroom.
Where are the
And I
other
was
two
just in there
strings?
with headphones, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? And sat there and just started frantically banging through songs.
It's pumping through the discography as fast as you could.
And they were like, Chris, our guitar player, called and he was like, "Take this serious." And I was like, "Okay."
Wow.
And I knew that, I was working in a restaurant, I was working in a club, I do leather work too on the sides. I was doing that. I was working all these jobs, and I was like, what am I gonna do? Holy shit! I've been trying to move to Nashville for 2 years before that, anyways, and this was the definite thing. If I got this, I'm going. And played 2 songs after practicing for about a week and a half and learning shit the best I could, playing with a pick. I'm sure that sounded great, but I played well enough to where they were like, "You got a passport?" And I was like, "No, I don't." And they're like, "Oh shit!" So they called somebody they knew, ended up with a passport in like 3 days or something crazy.
Oh, dang.
Like, which is like unheard of.
Yeah, that's
It was
insane. It takes
some
like
kind
weeks,
of miracle.
months.
Yep. Somebody was definitely looking out for me on that one. And we rehearsed in Nashville for about a week and a half. And my first show was in Moscow, Russia.
Oh,
Dang.
shit.
Did a month
Way to start
in
off with
Europe.
a bang.
Yeah. I've never been out of the country before. That was the first time, other than like going up to Canada when I was little. And then we did a whole month in Europe. Bunch of shows, came home, did about 2 or 3 months in the States, and everybody was like, "This is cool. Let's keep it going."
Dang.
Wow.
And here we are.
So were you like, so when it first started, were you like sweating bullets, like
Oh yeah,
nervous? You weren't just like super cool.
I was nervous, but it was also like one of those things. It was like one of those like definitive moments where I was like, I have to do this. Like I cannot fail.
Right.
And,
That'd be
somehow I
like
knew,
the
I was
regret of your life if that's what happened.
and
That's
I think
huge.
the big thing too was like I'm going to be prepared for this. Like I'm going to do everything I possibly can to get this right.
Right, and that's
And
not a lot of time.
It's been a
weeks.
No,
It's not a lot of time at all.
it's not. It's been a learning curve the whole 6 years, and I've learned a ton. But especially those first couple of years, it was like in ear monitors and playing for way bigger crowds and like having very, very precise songs that were like, this is how these are played. And before it was like, not a jam band by any means, but like I was a lead guitar player. If I
You just want to
noodle
solo
around
an
on
extra few
something,
minutes,
yeah,
just do what you want.
if I wanted to just kind of run around on something for a minute, it was no big deal, and it was songs that I'd written and songs we've been playing for years, so it was big comfort level.
Yeah.
And I think that was the other big thing that it taught me too, because I feel like every little thing that we've talked about's opened some other little door somewhere along the line, and it really taught me to just say fuck it, get out of my comfort level, whatever it is, take whatever opportunity. Like for a while I was terrified to go do a writer's round. I was like, man, I don't know if I got a good voice. I don't like if people can hear me sing, like it's awkward, it's weird. And finally I was like, no, I have to do this. If I'm going to be in town with the caliber of people who are in this town, I have to at least get up there and sing. I have to at least get up there and have the confidence and believe in my songs enough to sing them. And I kind of learned that from, if I'm going to do this, I have to at least have the confidence to do this and step out and do it. And I think pushing myself in each little opportunity that comes up is the advice that I'd give anybody, because I get asked all the time, like, how do I start my music career? I'm like, take every opportunity you can and don't be afraid of it. Just prepare the best you can and go for it. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Another one will come along. Ride that roller coaster and just do everything you possibly can, especially this day and age. Like, the chances of you being like an artist from start to finish and doing only that and being super fucking huge is pretty tough. Like, a lot of people start as a writer, they start as auxiliary player for a band. Like, there's a bunch of different hats you can wear. There's a million different ways you can approach it, and just take those opportunities. Don't be scared to, like, hey, I'll go run tech stuff for this guy. I'll go, they need, like, especially if you're in town and you got friends that are doing good stuff, go write with them. Like, they need a tour manager. Like, if they need whatever it is, find those opportunities, take all of them. Just do it. And that's not a Nike plug. But
Hashtag not sponsored.
Don't be scared. No fear.
We had a guest who was a drummer in a band who said that he thinks that like being the merch guy is like the key, like the trick to the music industry. And he's told us about some guy he knew who like entered through merch and then like became tour manager and then became this and then became like, he's like now is so wealthy he never has to work again. And he's like, meanwhile, like he was our merch guy, and like meanwhile we were the cool rock star band, and like I'm broke as fuck now, like he wasn't that.
It's like any other job. Like, out on the road, everybody's got different positions that you can work up into once you have that experience. So especially if you're desiring to work behind the scenes, absolutely take whatever you can get. Learn how to rig, learn how to do lights, learn how to, like, whatever that stuff is, learn how to tech, whatever it is, and work your way around stuff, because I guarantee you, like, our Bernie, my friend that's been with us, he started as a VIP coordinator. and it was just to get in the door. And now he's our head tech, backline crew chief, stage manager, and like every time he's done something and moved up in some capacity once he's gained that experience.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of speaks to a lot of people in younger generations and stuff, and coming up and just across the board with any job that you're doing that doesn't have to be music. Like, get in, do the dirty work, do the shit job that you think is beneath you. It's not. It's not fucking beneath you. Get in there, work your ass off, and work your way up. Nobody's gonna get out of college and go straight to CEO unless you are some kind of genius that designs some kind of crazy app or some shit.
And not just a genius, but also incredibly lucky.
Yeah.
Right.
There's
Him and
a
I
million
were
different things.
we were auto detailers together.
That's true.
We used to clean people's shit out
And
of their
look at
cars.
you now.
And look at us now, man.
No, you guys are like, it's the same.
Oh, shit. Really fucked up.
Should have been
I
the
mean,
merch guy.
you guys have made a move out here from, and I guarantee there's some of that stuff that, 'cause I detail cars too when I was in high school, like for car lots, and like that is not an easy job to do for like
That's when I started
15,
high school.
20 bucks a day. You know, like
High school,
you'll learn
high
something
school
from
through
it.
college, man.
You get out there and learn something.
Dude, and it's actually, honestly, there are a lot of days in the music industry that I miss detailing cars because I'm like, man, I was out in the sun.
Yep.
It felt great because it wasn't humidity in California. Like, it felt great. It was just good to be alive. I was listening to my podcast, and I just had to do a good job at making this thing clean. And that was it. And, like, now it's like...
Man, you have some fond memories that time. I only did it with you for like a year, but every day I was like, this fucking blows.
Well, you also worked for me, but...
yeah, it was his company. I was just like doing it because I'm looking for a job.
But... Like, yeah, no, anyway, that's a whole backstory.
That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
We know each other for a long time. But
I'm like almost tempted to go into it because it's a really funny story how that happened, but I won't. So instead we'll just say, no, yeah, it was good. I did it for a long time, and I was out in the sun, I was staying fit, like having a, it was just a more secure. Plus, if you need money as a detailer, and like I had a mobile rig. If you need money as a detailer, dude, drop by any business park in America and then walk in and talk to the secretary and be like, does anybody want their car cleaned right now? And somebody does.
Yeah.
It's like...
That was the entire business model.
Dude, I just used to live like, I need rent, you know what I mean? It's due tomorrow. And it's like, well, I better put in a good day tomorrow so I can have rent. And like, it worked. It was good days.
Good days.
Yeah. Now you
Different times when $1 meant something.
America!
So now you kind of mentioned offhandedly, and it definitely made me curious. You said you do leather working?
Yeah.
How does that happen?
that
What do you
too.
make? Can you make me a hat?
Yeah. Well, maybe. I don't know.
I'll sell it for a wallet. No.
You want like a tri-corner pirate hat, or like a
More than anything I've
colonial-
ever wanted in my life.
like a colonial hat?
I don't know. What do you make? What do you make out
How
of
many
leather?
corners can you do?
A lot of guitar straps. I
Oh,
made
guitar
my
strap. I guess that makes
strap.
sense. I don't know why I didn't think of that.
I do a lot of those for friends that are playing
super
music
cool.
and
Yeah.
stuff. I make wallets, journal covers, bracelets.
How'd you get into that?
Back way up, my granddad on my mom's side was always into woodworking, and he was always doing crafty stuff like that. And he taught me quite a bit, and I kind of piddle around with it in high school. And then whenever I got out of high school and I had like buddies with old junky guitars laying around, I was like, I can't remember where I saw one, but it's like online somewhere or something that like somebody had hand carved like all this cool shit, and I was like, I didn't even know you could do that. It's like, kind of want to give that a try.
Yeah.
So I had my Dremel tool, and I'd like my buddy Bernie, he's got it hanging up at his parents' house in Raleigh, North Carolina. But put this gun on it and like all this like Western stuff. He had this old Strat. It actually turned out pretty cool, and it kind of evolved from that to carving a couple other ones, and then doing more research and seeing like, oh, like people do like these really elaborate tooled pick guards, and then like a matching guitar strap. So I was looking up those, and they were like $250 for a pick guard, and like $500 for a guitar strap. And I was like, well, I'm definitely not going to spend that to put on this thing.
Holy shit.
So in my hometown, there's a place called Jackson's Western Store. And downstairs they have a saddle shop. And they do everything from saddles to holster rigs, chaps, everything you can think of. And my buddy Caleb, his mom works down there. And so I started going down there just to like get supplies, and then I'd kind of like hover around and see what they were doing. And my buddy Otter, he still works down there.
Otter?
Yeah.
Nice.
Big mustache, like coolest dude.
No, he's
Tons
not.
of
He's not
wisdom.
actually an otter.
No.
Okay,
It's
just
a
to
mustache
clarify.
thing.
All right.
But
Dude, what if he was though? We don't know. In Asheville, they can be
magical
friends with
land of
animals.
Asheville, North Carolina, man. We got animal friends.
My friend Bambi.
Someone's talking to something down there. But yeah, they were all into sash shooting, which is the cowboy action, single action, like basically like you've got an alias and it's all cowboy scenarios. You go out and shoot like historically accurate firearms. They were
cool.
building
That's cool.
all their own rigs and like chaps and all this stuff, and I always just thought it was so cool, and I loved like growing up is all Western stuff. I loved Westerns, and so that whole like design style I was like really into. I thought it was super cool, and I was just like, man, I really want to figure out how to do this. So a couple Christmases I was asking for tools, and just this was 15 years ago now. Mm-hmm. And just kind of started teaching myself some stuff, and then going down there and watching them, and kind of evolved from there. And once I moved here, I carried it over and kept doing it, and been able to make some cool stuff here and there.
Do you use it as a hobby, or you like sell anything you make?
I sell it.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you have like a store we can like link for people?
Yeah. It's called anchorandfield.com. Well, it's anchorandfield.com. I just switched over to the .com for it.
See if I know how to spell. It's trying it. Your computer's struggling. It's trying its best.
Straight on. Yeah, that's
Oh, there we
it.
go. Oh, dude, that Star Wars is so
Anchor
sick.
and Field.
All right, I better switch over so the people can see.
Ooh, I like that. Dude, you got a good photographer.
That is an iPhone on a coffee table.
Shut up. Dude.
Except for the one in the middle. That's my buddy Shane. He's a badass knife maker in Arizona. And he took a little product picture for me on
I was
that.
gonna
and it
say,
turned
this
out-
Yeah, that's
guitar, how that
super
is,
cool.
that's so cool. Like,
Yeah, that's my 98 standard Les Paul. And it just photographs really well.
it looks good. And like, I mean, it was creative how you did the strap. I think that's really
Thank you.
cool.
Yeah, dude, that's super sick.
Wallets
So let me post the.
Wallets and all sorts of.
Yeah, so y'all want to
Make
buy a
pretty much
wallet?
anything.
Yeah, I'm gonna post the link in chat here so y'all
Cool.
can see.
I do like mostly custom stuff. So if you got an idea, just holler at me. I'll try to figure out how to make something. I don't know.
Oh, thanks, Kevin. You already posted it for me. You're
Nice.
awesome.
Nice.
Okay, cool. Now I want to get into all the stuff you're doing now, the solo stuff and all that. Before we delve straight into it, can we hear another song?
Yeah. I can play the new single I'm about to put out.
Okay,
Maybe. Hopefully.
maybe.
Haven't played it very much. So, I haven't played it in a while, actually, so I shouldn't say very much. I haven't played it in a while. Yeah, so, the song's called Runaway. And like I said before, I was like, grew up on 90s country. So, that's kind of the style that my music is kind of taking on. And kind of like a modern twist, I guess. Not necessarily on purpose. It's just like what I like and the sounds I like and the writing I like and the storytelling. So this song was definitely kind of in that little Texas Restless Heart kind of vibe, and love the Eagles too. So like on the recording, there's a bunch of harmonies and guitars and stuff. So see if I can get it done. But it's called Runaway, and it's about a young couple in love, and they're told not to be, and they don't give a fuck, so they're leaving anyways. So they're running away. Well, they're headed down that interstate, and they won't be back tonight. 'Cause that dead-end town's just time to waste, so they follow those headlights. She wasn't raised in money, and from the wrong end of the tracks. He had a big bright future, a 3A quarterback. She worked the diner Friday nights, and he would get there after the game. And late night coffee conversations, they were planning their escape. And they're headed down that interstate, and they won't be back tonight. Cause that dead end town's just time to waste, so they follow those headlights. Red wine roses, all they know is love that just feels right. Four wheels turning, two hearts burning, gone and don't think twice. They're gonna run away tonight. Well, his daddy called him crazy, said, boy, you've lost your mind. And finds you a good girl to marry. You know she ain't that kind. The note they left on that front door said love is all we need. And now they're breaking free, and they're headed down that interstate. They won't be back tonight, cause that dead end town's just time to waste, so they follow those headlights. The red wine roses, all they know is love that just feels right. Four wheels turning, two hearts burning, gone and don't think twice. They're gonna run away tonight. They were so in love, young and wild, caught up in a dream. They left the whole town talking, wondering where they could be. And they're headed down that interstate, and they won't be back tonight, cause that dead end town's just time to waste, so they follow those headlights. Red wine roses, all they know is love that just feels right. Four wheels turning, two hearts burning, gone and don't think twice. They're gonna run away tonight. Oh yeah, they're gonna run. Oh yeah, they're gonna run away tonight. Oh yeah, they're gonna run. They're gonna run away tonight. They're gonna run away tonight. It fades out on the CD, so I wanted to do that. On the CD, what am I talking about?
CD.
It fades out
the
on
internet.
the internet track. So I tried to do a live fade out. Hopefully you guys can fix that.
We'll fix that in post, bro.
Fix that in post.
Kind of reminded me of Tom Petty a little bit.
Cool. Yeah, I like that. I like that comparison.
Yeah,
I love Tom.
I was
Tom
like,
Petty,
I was hearing
so.
the harmonies in my head. I was
Yeah.
building it out. Anyway, I don't know what the real track sounds like. Can't wait to hear
I'll
it.
send it to you at some point, and you can hear. There's a ton of harmonies on it. So,
Yeah.
like I said, I love the Eagles. I love Little Texas, Shenandoah, all that stuff, and they were like big on those harmonies, and Alabama too. Like that was always a favorite. So, try to channel that as much as I possibly can.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's fun to get older and have a little bit of freedom
Yeah.
to do music like whatever the hell you want.
Get older. We're not that old.
I know, but no, like we're old and we're not old. I'm not saying like an old man, but we're old enough to like.
It's already writing us off.
I'm doing I'm doing my own thing right now. I'm on my own just for fun, like recording my own song at the moment. Just kind of starting to get back into that.
Yeah.
And that's how I started. Like that's how I got into music, was like learning Pro Tools to record my own music. And then it eventually, like for the first several years, I only recorded myself. And then it turned into recording other people. And there was a while when I was like in school for audio where I was like, I hope I like recording other people. I don't know if I will. I've only done me. But
This
now,
may completely suck.
yeah. And now it's like we're talking 8-9 years later, and I almost forget that I ever really did music myself. And so I'm just now like old enough in my early 30s to be like, okay, cool. I've been recording other people for a minute. I'm going to keep doing that because that pays the bills. And I really, really enjoy it. And there's so many people I get to work with who are more talented than me. So that's great. But I'm now old enough to start doing my own shit, and I'm channeling what I think is interesting and not giving a fuck about everybody else, what they care about. Like, it can take off or not. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's like, I hope to God this takes off. Like, don't get me wrong, whoever's listening. But also, like, I think...
No, it doesn't
really.
matter. You heard it here first.
He does not give one fuck.
But I think that, like, it's especially
By
being
the way,
in the business.
at Spotify Music, you gonna check them out right now?
Yeah. Hey, Spotify.
Spotify, Apple,
But
Instagram,
all of them, any of them.
Tidal.
Wherever, I'll come to your house, like, whatever you need.
Actually, Liz or Floppy, do you mind posting the links? I actually sent some links earlier.
if you need.
I think, like especially being in the music and being in the country writing scene and stuff, like, a lot of times it's super easy to lose sight of putting out music that you love, because everybody's chasing that next hit, that next song that's like, oh, what's popular now? And it's really easy. I don't think it's a bad thing, because, like, it's part of any profession that you're in. You got to chase down that next thing, and that next moneymaker, all that good stuff. But I think it's really easy to get kind of caught up in that. And I think some, like, especially I know a ton of really good writers, a ton of, like, great performers out there. I think sometimes they just need to put out something that they don't give a fuck about being a single, or be like, I love this song, I care about this song, I believe in this song, I'm putting it out. And that's kind of the approach that I've been really trying to take in my solo stuff. Like, I hope to God people like it because I like it. But at the same time, like, the reason I'm putting out the songs isn't because I'm like, oh man, I think this is gonna, like, get up there and compete with, I don't know, whoever.
Florida Georgia Line.
Yeah, Florida Georgia Line's next song. Like, it sounds like one of the, like, because I don't sound like that, and don't plan on sounding like that. No offense to anybody, but I'm just putting out songs that I believe in, care about, and I've written on, and love the story to, or I love the melody to, and I feel like it fits what I'm doing. And that's been my approach, and I'm gonna keep that approach as long as I possibly can, with just putting out stuff I believe in.
Yeah, that's cool.
How long have you been working on this particular project?
Gosh, about a year and a half now.
Okay, so it's still pretty new.
Yeah, it's still really new.
I mean, I think there's, what, 3 songs on Spotify right now, right?
Yeah, this will be the 4th single, and I'm kind of just working on singles right now because it's a good way to kind of keep people involved nowadays with Instagram and how quick stuff moves, and you can spend a bunch of money and drop a whole record of like 10 songs, and in 3 or 4 months, I guarantee somebody's gonna be like, "When you putting out new music, man? When you putting out new songs?" So you get that, you can kind of, like, the attention span of people has gotten pretty short these days, so it's beneficial to just, like, crank out songs and put out singles and keep people interested, and you can kind of keep chipping away at it in a maybe slightly cheaper way, I guess. I don't know if that's a good way to approach it necessarily, but
well, yeah, it's more affordable to do one song than 12.
And you can promote the shit out of it for a couple months and put out another one, and then put out another one. And
I think it's also beneficial at the start of your artist career to do singles from the standpoint of, like, you don't know who you are yet. You know what I mean? And not that you don't know who you are, you have a starting point, like, no offense, but, like, just each song's going to develop a little further, and you hit these certain creative milestones where you're like, oh, I would never do X, Y, and Z on a track. And then you're like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Maybe I would. Or you work with a certain person who challenges you in a way, or after this 3rd song, you're like, okay, I did what I want. I said what I wanted to say there from a music standpoint. I wanted, you know what I mean? And then you come up with a new thing, and you're like, okay, let's just throw out one song in this style and just see what happens. And either then you're like, ooh, this is the direction, or you're like, okay, that was, come back.
I think as an artist too, like people, like, as an artist, you want to hear yourself evolve. You want to hear the next song you put out sound better than the last song. You want it, like, you want that gratification. You want the fans and stuff to hear, like, oh damn, like, that sounds really good, and, like, I love that last song, but wow, listen to that. Like, you want to keep the interest, keep wowing the crowd. You want to keep challenging and wowing yourself as well. And there's certain stuff that I've heard, even in the 3 singles that I've put out so far, and in this 4th one, I'm like, cool, like, I'm hearing like myself come out of this now, instead of just like I'm gonna try something. I don't know. Like I feel like you said, like start really finding your identity and you find your space to live in artistically.
So what got you trying to do the solo stuff, and like you're still in Three Doors, but you're also doing your solo stuff, and like has that been hard to navigate, or is that easy to do?
It's been pretty easy so far. I think like it's good because like our fans enjoy it. Whenever I put out music, and the band's supportive of it too, they think it's cool. So I think the only thing that would be weird is if I came out with like, "Hey guys, I'm gonna go play Three Doors Down songs at this club down the road." They'd be like, "What? No."
Yeah.
So I think like it's a completely different genre, and I'm just doing my thing. And
that's really cool that they're supportive. Because I feel like there would be bands that wouldn't be.
Yeah, I'm sure there are somewhere, but fuck those guys. So
yeah,
you heard it here first. Fuck those guys.
You heard it first.
Nice. So. So back to the first question. Like, so what got you interested in doing that, and how is it morphed from, I'm kind of interested in like maybe I'll put out a song, to like, no, I'm going to kind of pursue this and build this into a thing, which is like another level.
I think it goes back to that, like pushing yourself and different opportunities and all that kind of stuff. Because when I was living in North Carolina, playing in the campaign and writing music, I was still sitting at the house and singing songs that I was writing, and we'd play acoustic sets sometimes, and I'd sit there and play, like Rolling Stone songs or like whatever country stuff that I thought was cool that I wanted to play, and like we'd play these old places, and people were like, "That's cool, man, you got a good voice," and I'm like, "I don't know, I'm awkward. I just play lead guitar. I'm just this guy." So I think like the idea had always been there, and the drive had always been there for me to get up there and sing and do it myself. So I think like through the evolution of the band and like where I went with Three Doors and what I started doing here in town and like writing with more people, and I think it all just kind of evolved in that direction. Like once we started playing and singing with people, and other friends were like, "Dude, why aren't like you're playing in this big band, why aren't you being an artist too? Like why aren't you doing your own thing?" And it felt like 2 years ago that like never even dawned on me for some reason. I always just was like, I'm just gonna be this backup dude, and I want to really write. And then once people were like, "Go be an artist. You could be an artist," it was like, maybe I could. So then like once the challenge was kind of there, I started being like, all right, maybe I'm just gonna put music out and see what happens. And I put out those 2 songs, and last summer, like beginning of last summer, was like May, I think, last summer, and I recorded them with my friend Max Gabriel, who's an awesome producer here in town. I'd have him do like all my stuff. The dude's just got an amazing ear for everything. Great with my vocals, great with recording. He's really in touch with like that modern sound, and then he can reel it back to the stuff that I want, but still like keep it current to where it doesn't sound like I'm like totally vintage or something. But he started recording that stuff, and I started getting the songs, and then I was playing those songs that I demoed for friends, and they were like, "This is really good. This is cool, man. Like, this has got a good sound. You got a good voice." And then I was playing the writers' rounds. People were like, "You got a good voice, man. Like, get out there and do it." And I think that was not necessarily like a challenge, but I kind of took it as that, and I was like, "All right, I'm going to push myself to do this." And it was, like I said earlier, like just taking every opportunity I could, because other writers were like, "Hey, you want to play this writers' round with me?" And now it's like, yeah, I'll do it. I'm hosting one April 17th at Whiskey Row with all my friends that I've been writing with for the past couple of years.
Thanks.
And
so if you're in town in Nashville, definitely hit that up.
Wednesday, April 17th, it's Whiskey Row down on Broadway.
I think you posted the thing for that on your Instagram, right?
Yeah.
I think I saw that.
Where's Whiskey Row?
I think
Is that a new place? That's a
it's on the
bar,
corner.
huh?
Yeah, it's Sturks Bentley's place. It's like right on the corner. Where Grunge is.
I heard about that.
Up from, it's like
Yes.
the other corner.
Is that
up
fairly
there.
new?
Whiskey
Is that fairly new, or am I
2
crazy?
years. It's been around for 2
Okay.
years now, I think.
Yeah, Whiskey Row. Every time I want to go there, like every time, like so as a Nashvilleian, like you don't go to Broadway that often, but when I do, every time there's like a private event there, and I can't go. Like
It's
every
a
time.
popular place. They keep that place slammed.
Yeah, they do.
And even on normal nights, it's one of the most packed bars on Broadway.
So do people
it's a good
need
spot.
tickets for
No.
your writer's night, or you just show up?
Just show your ass up.
Nice.
Come on out.
Cool.
Ton of great
17.
writers. A lot of my like closest friends in town are playing on it, and they're way more talented than me. And
Which is
great,
that?
awesome songs.
Yeah, so that's a week from today. So next Wednesday.
Yeah.
Next Wednesday night, if you happen to be in Nashville.
Starts at 7. We'll probably go till about 11. There's 12
Very cool. And what is
12 writers.
Just it's probably of interest to some people. Like Nashville is very unique in having writers' rounds.
Yeah.
I don't think it exists anywhere else that I know.
You find
of.
like it's basically an open mic night, but you're doing original songs that you've written or have written with other people, and it can be pretty raw. So you get anybody up there, it's just an amazing writer, maybe not a great singer. It's like just a way to showcase songs that you've written. So it's a pretty intricate part of being a songwriter, and it's a very it's a staple thing that writers in town do, because you meet other writers to get other rights, and also a lot of people have played writers rounds, and some artist was there randomly and cut that song and it was a #1 hit, or a publisher was there, or any number of industry people, and they're like, that's a hit. So it's exposure, it's networking, it's a million different little things in one, but it's typically in the round, so it's 3, 4, 5, 6 people, and everybody plays a song, and you go on down the line, and everybody does usually like 3 or 4 songs depending on the place. But I always get inspired when I go to any of them in town that they have writers rounds everywhere in town, every night of the week. So
yeah, it's really cool.
it's not just like, if you come to Nashville, it's not just Broadway. You can find live music everywhere, and original live music all over.
Yeah.
So
I remember that's like part of your first time you come to Nashville, you got to play a writer's round. You got to do it. It's a good time.
yeah, really good time. I played at the Listening Room last Tuesday, just like randomly got thrown on the show by my buddy Justin Addis, and the guy that was sitting next to me was from Sweden, and he was a singer-songwriter in Sweden. He just came over to see Nashville and try it out, and he ended up on like 3 different writers rounds and playing Whiskey Jam and stuff, and was like, he's doing it right. It was phenomenal too.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Nashville's really interesting that way.
Yeah.
I think it might be about time for crystals.
Oh shit.
I was waiting to bring it up. I didn't know when was the right time. Yeah.
No,
But I've had it in the back of my mind.
Praised
Just thinking,
Nashville enough.
Yeah.
Nashville desires our praise.
We've-
Feeds off of it.
We've made our
praise town.
sacrificial offerings. The Nashville is appeased.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into some deep YouTubing
Yep.
on
And
the dark web.
I do also want to say, I'm not totally making fun of this. There's a lot of people who believe in this stuff. And
yeah,
get
absolutely.
behind
And we
it,
respect that.
and I respect it. And yeah,
Yeah.
We're just gonna watch a few clips. You're gonna kind of
Yeah.
bless
guide
his
us,
little heart.
guide us through a few videos.
Yeah.
And the reason we're doing this, by the way, it's not like is because you showed me this video last time you were here at the studio.
I don't know how we got talking about it.
It was
either.
very
I'm hoping
yeah,
your
me
laptop
either.
can
But
handle playing a video.
it was an entertaining time, and so we just want to be a little bit of entertainment for people on the dark web.
on the dark web.
Yeah.
I don't know what the dark web is. I assume this is what it's
I don't
like.
want to know what it is.
And I'll say,
you can
Taji High.
Buy drugs there.
He said, "Who's this beautiful man?"
Holy shit.
Well, it's right in the title, man. Justin Biltonen. Bass player for 3 Doors Down, and also now doing his solo stuff, which you can see, and we'll post another link again
Look
in
him
the chat
up
in a
on
minute.
Spotify.
Yeah, Google it. Google that shit. All right, so what am I searching here? So when we were at home, me and him apart, by the way. When we were at home, he was like, "Dude," like right after he met you, he came home, and he was like, "Dude, you got to look up these videos." But he couldn't find them. He couldn't remember what it's called.
Let me think here. Because like I said,
Sure.
Joshua P. Warren, I've known him for a minute. Hung out at his house. Very nice dude. Like, we're gonna get it's more about what he's talking about, less about the person. I don't want to say
Absolutely.
I don't want to say he's a bad person. I don't want to make fun of him.
Right.
But
The person is
he's got magic wands.
a good person. He just happens to
Selling magic wands.
sell magic
This
wands.
is, I mean, this is
Which
this,
is
this also
interest-
speaks to like a good portion of like wacky Asheville.
It's
So
part of
it's a
Asheville
good
culture.
it's a good little piece of Asheville culture.
We've talked a lot about Nashville now. Drop the N,
Yeah.
Asheville.
Asheville.
Yeah, I know. A couple times I felt like I almost wanted to clarify, like
Yeah.
Asheville and Nashville. They're different places, I promise.
Especially if you say it with any kind of southern accent, it's kind of
Asheville.
wacky. Nashville.
Was there an N sound in there somewhere?
Maybe.
Maybe. All right. So what's the name of his channel, or what am I?
See Joshua P. Warren.
Here, let me make this bigger so we can see. This is like as much as your laptop can handle. Oh wait, Justin.
Can the
That's not it.
OBS,
What
can they
was
see
it?
it?
Joshua
Joshua.
P.
They can't
Warren.
see it yet. I'll let them see it when.
Wishing machine. That's a good one. You can just start
Wishing
there.
machine. So this is a friend of yours that you grew up with,
I wouldn't
right?
necessarily call him a friend.
A guy
It's a
you-
guy I know. I haven't seen him in years. We've hung out many times. We had great conversations.
This one, the top
He
one.
is a very sweet man. He's a very nice guy. He's very into
Do you
some
want-
wacky stuff. He's been on Travel Channel. He's been on Ghost Stuff. So again,
wow.
all due respect, I'm not saying
trashing
anything
him.
bad about the man.
Not at
'Cause
all.
he's a nice guy. But this wishing machine is pretty wacky. But at the same time, hey, if you're out there listening, maybe you buy one of these damn things. I don't know. It might bring you some money. I don't know. I don't know.
People can still hear us, right?
They can still hear
Okay,
us,
so we
but
can-
they can't see us right
We
now. They can
have,
only
like,
see
a
the screen.
reaction, but
Yeah.
they can't see us. They just see the video. Okay.
Yeah, they can't see us.
You can just fast
Imagine
forward
a
through
box
something. Oh wait, no, this is a great
that can
intro.
make your wishes come true. Both good ones and bad ones. A simple, elegant interface between your brain, your consciousness, your desires, and the cosmos. Does it seem unbelievable? Do you know a man died in prison for discussing this? Do you know legal judgments have been passed against those who say it works?
I did not.
In the United States and abroad, offices have been raided and books have literally been burned for revealing what you will learn here. Is it good to share this knowledge? Or should
This is
this
some hype.
information be shrouded forever, hoarded by only a
Shroud
few?
it.
It's a box with simple
There's literally
knobs.
tens of people that are going to know
There is
about
an
this
input
now.
and an output.
This has 73,000
Can
views.
this really work?
Oh, shit,
Millions of
really?
people
Yeah.
over the decades will tell you yes. It may be the holy grail of technology. It's
shit.
weird in every way. A proper name eludes us, so we call it simply the wishing machine. I'm Joshua P. Warren. When I wrote the Wishing Machine workbook, I didn't know what to
I did not
expect.
know
I
There's a
mean,
workbook.
These are
We
radionic printed
probably
designs,
should've
and I'd had
gone
a
ahead and got
great
one of
deal
those.
of success using them in my life, but I wasn't sure how well they would work for other people. And you can imagine just how impressed I was after a few weeks to have received stacks and stacks of grateful letters
Stacks
from
on
people
stacks,
claiming
dude.
that the information in the Wishing
on
Machine
stacks on
workbook
stacks.
had improved their lives,
gosh.
had improved
Okay, let's
their
move on to the next
finance.
video. That was enough of
Yeah,
that.
you
one.
can. I mean,
Okay,
so
so
you
that's
can, you
just
can
the
kind of fast
intro.
forward and
Sure,
just-
yeah, let's-
just fast
we'll
forward
jump
and you
ahead
can
a
see
few
how it
minutes.
works. There's like you got to scratch
Good years
this thing and
people
put
have been
money on
using
it.
it and claiming great
You got to turn these
success.
dials that aren't connected to shit.
Here is essentially
what's in the
how one of
box?
these boxes is employed.
Oh, here's how it's deployed. Perfect.
Here we have a metal input plate. And
As
here
you
we
do.
have an output plate, also known as a stick plate. So the first thing we want to do is put something on the input plate to represent what you want to affect. Because radionics is
Sure.
based on the idea that everything in the universe, every concept, every combination of circumstances has its own sort of frequency, what we call a rate.
My wife loves that shit.
So you want to first find the rate for what you
Frequencies.
want
Oh,
to
yeah.
deal
She
with.
loves talking about the
So
frequencies
let's
of
say,
shit.
for example, we have a guy named Joe,
Maybe she needs one
and
of these.
Joe
Maybe she
has
does.
lost his job.
How much
and
to
he
sell them
doesn't
for?
have
Yo,
money.
I think we showed her, and
The
I
first
was
thing
like,
we want to do is represent the concept
like,
of
crap, she
Joe
might buy it.
without money.
Yeah,
And you
she's.
can do that in
She'll
many
buy
different
anything.
ways. It's similar to creating
Okay, we got Joe without money.
specimen for some type of a voodoo experiment. In fact, a lot of people call this techno-shamanism. But here's one way you could represent it.
Techno
If we have this
shamanism.
piece of paper, we can write on it,
a great
Joe
band name.
without money.
Great band name.
And maybe
At
Joe
least a
even
record
signs
or
his name.
And then we might even take one of Joe's hairs and tape that onto it. You could put a picture of
you
Joe.
need
There are
the
lots
hair
of
for
different things
shamanism.
you
Have
can do
to?
represent
Yeah.
He said
Joe.
we might.
Well,
Just
how
the
else would you know
concept
who
of
it is? They
Joe
don't pull the hair
without
or from
Jerry's
blood or
out on that
something.
one.
So we're going to take this sample, this specimen,
Yes.
and we're going to put it on the input plate. Now the next thing we have to do is find the frequency for Joe without money. Here's where the knobs come into play. While we have this on the input plate,
So wait, whether you're rich or poor, it's a different frequency?
you would then
guess.
gradually turn the first knob. The knob can go from 0 to 10. As you turn the knob,
Turn that
you
shit all the way to 10.
stroke the output plate or the stick plate. Now it's a plastic surface and it feels
Stroke
rather
it, bitch.
smooth. But as you turn this knob, there will come a point when something
It was
weird
like
happens.
Mystery
All of a
science.
sudden, the smooth surface will feel sticky, like it grabs your finger.
This
That's
could
why we
be a
call
whole
it a stick
separate
plate.
podcast.
I really want some like money
That
to
is
appear
the
on the output plate or some shit.
subjective
That's what I want to
It
happen.
indicates that you have reached
You're like, oh shit, I need to get one of
I
those.
love you
or
with
the
your
right
terms.
number for this
You know
knob.
it's called
So let's say
alpha.
that happened on this knob when we got
Look,
to the number
techno shamanism is real.
So now we move to the
best
next
thing
knob,
about it
and we do
is
the same thing. We
It's
turn
so
it clockwise.
accessible.
while
So
stroking
accessible.
the
Anybody,
plate.
how much do these things cost? I
It
gotta know.
sticks at
How
the
much do they
number
cost?
I want to say they're
Four.
$200.
$200? Does he have like a DIY kit?
He's got
Let's say
that
we do
box
the
and he's
same
been
thing
stroking
with
that
the third
box.
knob. And this time
And
it
every
sticks
time he
at
puts
the
it
number
on, he gets
six.
$200.
Okay. I'm sure everybody's
No,
hearing
this-
like
this-
him and
all right.
us and can't tell what the
This
fuck's
whole
going
thing,
on.
like you're going down a dark hole with this.
Maybe like just shorter clips, but maybe like
Okay,
let's just
okay,
do, like,
sure,
two.
sure, sure. Let's do a
Two
couple.
more short
It
clips.
just my favorite one is if
When we go to his
if you can
channel?
find the rubies,
Okay, I'll
magic
look at that.
rubies.
I'll
It's just bless his heart.
Ruby's an IES, right?
Is there two B's?
There's the
Rubies?
the sigil one.
Sigil 1 classic. Everyone knows what the
I don't
Sigil
know
1.
what that is. That's got to be some kind of new.
It's
new
on
for
it's on
2019.
it's on his channel.
Oh, absolutely.
I'll just go to his channel directly. He has 164 videos. That's several videos.
UFO crash debris.
I guess I can just search his channel, huh?
Scroll down.
Okay, let me go back.
Oh, see golden ruby fortune maker.
Oh yeah. Looks like a compass.
Oh, it's a golden ruby.
Be amazed what you can find at Hobby Lobby.
Hello, I am Joshua P. Warren, and I am ready to tell you about my new
I'm
project.
ready to listen.
My latest experiment. I know that you're going to find this interesting because it has to do with attracting money and prosperity.
Dude, he's
and
big on attracting
abundance.
money.
You know, that's one of my favorite things to explore. And
Which I
a
feel
lot of
like
people
he's probably
contact me
attracting
all
a good
the
amount of
time
money through all
asking
these
about
videos.
Well, this one only has
doctors are-
360
Type
views
of
compared to the other one
experiment.
at 73,000.
So
Maybe this is the one where people will
fall
finally-
of 2017,
Cross the line.
I don't know,
I
buddy.
made a purchase right here in Asheville.
Are we logged into your
Carolina.
account? I'm gonna like it, so that way you
39.
suggested this for the rest of your life.
It's
all gonna get tracked back.
natural, uncut.
He's gonna be on that wishing box like Murder Justin.
Rubies.
Murder Justin.
See, I have
Dialing in my
rubies
infinite
right here.
demise.
The reason
Those are not
that I
rubies.
bought these
Those are
raw
uncut.
natural rubies.
Okay,
Raw, natural,
raw.
in their
Those-
most powerful
Years,
form.
they have been
Of course, once you
considered
cut them, it loses some of the
It
essence.
Yeah, he
magnets
loses some of its
for
bioessence.
prosperity, for wealth,
Bio-
I feel like there's no way
Energetics.
he must be making some money if those are
all
real
over
rubies.
the world, and that's not a big surprise.
I'm pretty sure
because
he does
obviously
seminars.
You have the whole idea of rubies being associated with
Oh, we gotta see if he's coming to Nashville.
wealth. With
Oh, okay, let's go to the
ruby
close-up. Let's go to the
slippers
close-up.
and that kind of thing.
There you go.
And I realized
Okay.
that if I put this special lid on top of it, now this is something that I created.
Hobby
This
Lobby.
has a compass,
That's a scrapbook.
and
compass.
radionically
Like
speaking,
whenever, you're like, I've been all
what
over
you
the
would
world.
do
Here's
is
my
you'd
scrapbook
meditate
picture.
on the
You can
ruby
put that
and
compass
put it
right
in a
on that
container.
motherfucker.
You screw on
You can tag that
the lid, and
right into your
this
scrapbook.
radionically
man.
represents the energy of this ruby radiating in every single direction all around you. And I found that
Okay.
if
Yeah, I mean,
you
there is a
just
bunch of
take
places
one
pointing different
ruby,
directions.
just one ruby, and put it in this configuration, and put it in your pocket or your purse or some kind of a sleeve. Every single time
eyebrow.
I was having amazing luck. I mean, I won thousands.
Why don't you just put the ruby in your
thousands,
pocket?
thousands
Why do
of
you need the
dollars.
thing?
You need a compass to tell which way the,
Oh,
the
I didn't
ruby
even-
needs to
I didn't even
generate
think
its
about that.
powers.
You're obviously right.
Obviously.
but I won a lot
Sound
of money. At
scientific
one point,
method.
I took 1 quarter and put it into a machine and won $520. That's documented.
Oh, shit.
520?
How many times did he have to try that to get the 520 though? Yeah, he spent like $8,000 trying to get that shot.
Yeah,
trying to get that
I've
picture.
been to Vegas. I don't know, man.
That, as usual.
If anyone's
I
got
would
ruby
take
magic,
these
it's people running Vegas.
39
If you fast forward, you do get a certificate of
all
authenticity.
natural rubies.
What?
That's what sold me
Buy
on
this
it.
thing, I'd like for you to have something that you get instantly that will also help you get your mind sort of in a new place, shall we say.
That we don't
when it
have to wait
comes
for shipping.
Attracting
Yeah.
abundance and magic.
God
One
damn
of
it,
my
my
good
sister would like
friends
this.
out there in Las Vegas is Colonel John Alexander. Now, if you've ever seen
Colonel.
the movie The Men Who
He looks
Stare
like
at
a weird
Goats,
Will Shatner.
one of the
was
leading
an okay
characters
movie.
is played by George Clooney, and George Clooney's character is based upon Colonel John Alexander. His
Where you going with this, man?
history, his resume is unbelievable. The books he's written, the world travels that he's had, and he doesn't mind being called one of the men who stares at ghosts. I guess when George Clooney plays you in a movie, you accept that that's a pretty cool.
I wouldn't mind that either.
I kind of feel like he's just rambling a little here.
So
That's,
when I was in
No,
Vegas,
dude, he
That's
met
him.
the man who
Colonel
stared
John
at ghosts, and he
Alexander
was
That's
like a
true.
little
taught
starstruck.
me a remote viewing technique.
Oh,
God
Sort
damn,
of-
we're getting remote.
wow. We're going real deep.
Oh yeah.
Man, I told you this was a black hole.
Me, my dad, and my sister used to listen to Art
get
Bell
together
all
at
the
this
time.
one
Did you ever hear Art Bell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
They talk about remote viewing a lot. I still don't know what
Oh,
it
wait,
is.
here we go. This is
remote
certificate.
viewing technique that could be applied to
Or is he
many,
doing it?
many things
Oh, wait.
in life. Not just gambling, all kinds of things.
Oh,
So
okay, right there.
you get the radionic container, and
Yes.
you get the instructions, exactly how to use this, signed by me. You
That's a
will
lot of
receive
directions.
Instantly, the bonus video that will teach you this remote viewing technique that you can even teach your friends and loved ones. And I believe that all of this will really kick off a new year for you in great, abundant, prosperous style. So,
Well, not nine.
Yeah.
Okay, kick
So-
off the new year.
I guarantee he probably sold all those damn things. I guarantee he did.
Dude,
Which is, that's the interesting part about it.
if people are
um,
buying it.
Yeah, but which, there's something,
Yeah,
Looking at us.
there's something to, I think that's what, like I said, he's a very nice guy.
Oops.
Known him for years.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's something to it that you get kind of like when you're preying on people's like desperation for money. that like the kind of you get like, damn dude, come on, like you're selling
But the thing is,
nonsense. But somebody
is
really
it
bought
praying if he really believes it?
Yeah,
Is that
yeah.
you know what I mean?
I get,
If he really believes it, he's just helping people out.
I see how you're playing devil's
He's
advocate
doing
there.
the God's. He's doing God's work.
I see what you're doing there. I see what you're doing there.
Stop me if I'm going too
Interesting.
far down the trail here. But I think it's always curious to me when I see. Okay, like I could believe if you have one weird belief, like if you believe in the wishing machine, but in every other way, it's only one.
I feel like I'm the exact
You know what I mean?
opposite though. Like if you believe in that wishing machine,
You're done.
you better believe in all that other shit. Like you better just like
Because
go
why would you
ahead.
pick that one?
Why would you pick that one weird fucking thing?
Well, I'm just saying, like, if you're coming to me and you're like, you're basically normal, but then you're like, hey, did you know here's this one suppressed piece of technology? I still believe we landed on the
A man
moon,
died in prison
the
for
Earth is round, all
Yeah.
that other stuff.
I feel like
I
that's
might be more likely to believe
absolutely
it.
like everybody that bought that's a flat earther.
Oh, 100. You can't not be.
It not be.
At that point, you just have to accept it all.
Yeah.
Oh my
When
God.
you
So-
accept it all, I feel like, wait a minute. So you're telling me there's a wishing machine, but there's also a golden ruby,
Yep.
and what was the other one? He did magic wands too.
Magic
right?
wands. He did magic wands. That
And
were
there's-
like
and there's all of
antique
it.
things with crystals and just.
Why is all of it?
don't know.
All of it's true. All of it's true. It's a little far.
To be fair,
You know
so
what I'm
my wife bought Himalayan sea salt rocks. that go into a big metal bowl with a light bulb in it because it heats it up.
It looks cool.
And and what does it do? It
Ambiance.
Ionize the-
well,
It's
yeah,
all
I
about
mean,
that
that's what it
ambiance.
really does.
Sesame.
But what it's advertised
Feng
to do,
shui.
which is the reason she bought it, was because it like gets rid of like the negative like ions in the air and vibes and make you a better person. I was like, that's
maybe it does.
bullshit. When we moved out to Nashville, I got her to get rid of it. I'm like, we're not moving that shit across the country.
Nah.
That's gotta go.
I was gonna say I haven't seen that thing around.
Yeah, Kevin says he's pink Himalayan salt for his food. We have some for food too. We have like a grinder. But
At least
I feel like that's reasonable.
yeah, that's reasonable. It's salt.
It's nice.
But-
Is that the salt I use every day?
It's not from the rocks. We bought that separate. But yeah, that is pink Himalayan salt. That one. I think we're out. I think we're out.
I
now.
wondered
So-
why I have such a greater frequency these days.
You're vibrating at a very high frequency. I noticed when I walked in. So how I met him and how I ended up on that ghost tour. Two of my really good friends, their brothers, Caleb Hanks and Micah Hanks. I will actually like to try that beer. So Caleb Hanks and Micah Hanks, both phenomenal musicians. They've both been very good friends of mine. And Micah actually has been podcasting for a very long time. And I'm pretty sure he's written some books about it. He's got a really cool podcast that I absolutely will support and plug and tell all your people to check out. It's called the Graylian Report.
Graylian.
Graylian.
Graylian, like
That-
gray alien report.
That's how you brought this guy up to
Yeah.
me. We were talking about
So,
this podcast.
Yeah,
and you told me
Micah,
about it.
he does it. He's been doing it for a long time. He does radio stuff. He's like, he's got a lot of followers on it. It's a great podcast. It's like an hour and a half of him talking. I don't know how he does it, but a lot of it's weird news. It's like kind of like just weird shit that you maybe have heard in the news, maybe didn't know about. Like he has interesting guests, and it's from a extremely skeptical point of view,
Oh, really?
but
Okay.
also like not to where he just shuts everything down. Like, no, it's wrong. Shut up. It's dumb. Like he's got like a pretty good working scientific mind about stuff, which is cool, and just it's interesting. You guys have to check it out sometime. But
Brilliant.
that's how I met Josh and ended up working on that ghost tour, which was like a whole thing.
Now, if you guys are interested in buying one of these items,
If you want a wishing machine,
Joshua Warren does sell them.
Yeah, hey, I mean, maybe that'll make it better.
If that's for you, you're really vibing with it right now.
if he ends up selling a couple, maybe you won't feel bad about me jabbing at him a little bit.
if you felt your frequency increasing during these videos.
Floppy actually says he has noticed Ryan's frequency is vibrating rather well these days.
Wow, thanks, Floppy.
Wow, I know. I was thinking of that Himalayan sea salt you've been using. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I can't lie. I bought a wishing machine.
Every
Before we
morning
got
you're
it.
like twisting it
I
up.
was waiting for you to like pull it out from behind me. You're like, ah.
That would be
That would've been
an
amazing.
amazing
I
joke.
don't think our
I'm so
budgets. I
sorry
don't think
I
our
didn't
podcast budget's enough for a wishing machine.
I'm so sorry I didn't think of it. I would have saved up many podcast budgets. It'd be like certain weeks we'd just be like, yeah, what's your favorite drink? Tell me it's water, right? We're drinking tonight. Interview. Yeah, what were we drinking? Water.
We gotta save up for that wishing machine. That's
why
how
do
we're
you-
really gonna get big. Oh
So,
man!
okay,
I mean, kudos to him for making a business out of this.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
I mean, he's doing better than me probably. Selling a wishing machine.
I think he writes a lot of books too.
Yeah?
I don't know.
I mean, it's not that
I
painful.
wouldn't even know where to start, but that dude's written some books. And he wrote Haunted Asheville, which was like the like-
premier ghost book or whatever.
Like it chronicled all of our little ghosts and legends around Asheville, North Carolina, and
Oh my gosh,
it sold well, and I think it continues to sell pretty well. And
that's
he's been writing for a long time too. So, like I said, I'm not totally like making fun of him, other than the
no, because
wishing
whatever he's got
machine.
going's working for him.
Pocket rubies and wishing machines are pretty wacky, but dude does some shit. He's been on Travel Channel. He's been on a bunch of TV shows. So
That's
good for him.
crazy.
Yeah, lots of ghosts, and he wrote Haunted Asheville, which was what the trolley tour that I worked on was based on, which was a lot of fun, and it hopped around to all those little legendary places, and I actually was dressed up and dropped off at those places as whatever ghoul or goblin was haunting the area, and I would like one of the big ones was a cemetery downtown that they would just leave me at for about 15-20 minutes dressed as this big ghoul. The tour would come over, and I'd just be sitting on this bench and get on me and ooh.
Now, are there pictures of that?
I hope not. Man, I hope not. But he he sat us down one night, which was pretty interesting after the tours. I'm going to just give you all the evidence that I've actually found. There was a lot of video stuff, like just raw video footage that he put together of like stuff in Gettysburg that was pretty weird, like pretty substantial, like full body apparitions of soldiers like stepping over stuff and disappearing, and then like weird stuff moving around in their investigations, like these just stuff that was like kind of unexplainable and strange. And then we picked up a lot of weird EVPs that, like, I don't know if you guys know the electronic voice phenomenon stuff. It's like the frequencies that we can't hear, but it can be picked up on a recorder.
Oh, yeah,
So when you play
yeah.
it back, it'd be like there's somebody sitting in here talking too that is like, here's the three of us, but then there's like a fourth person that's like, get out, shut up, you guys are dumb. Like, and it's usually something menacing, of course. If you ever
course
watch
it
a
is.
ghost show, it's always like, get out.
They're never like, oh, welcome to my house.
Yeah.
Why don't you sit down and have some tea?
But he had some
Why aren't there
pretty,
any
he had
nice
some
ghosts?
pretty
Where have all the
compelling
nice
ones. that
ghosts gone?
Yeah, they're never like, hey, you guys want some candy? Like, it's never like that. It's always like, get out.
Was that Herbert
Leave my
the
home.
pervert from Family Guy?
I guess it could have been. Would you guys like some candy?
Zeno, hey Zeno, he says, when you coming to South Florida? Do you mean when are we going to South Florida, or when he going to South Florida?
You guys want them in South
I think that's a very different thing.
I'm thinking him because
I'm
we
guessing-
don't tour in a band.
Do we not? Do we not? I thought no. I mean, oh man, Google.
Are you going to
Google,
South Florida
Google the
sometime
dates.
soon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I don't think Three Doors isn't going down there anytime soon until
Are you-
the 2020 tour, and then which is fun to say 2020.
2020?
2020 tour. 2020 tour.
Come on,
2020 tour.
JT.
But I'm gonna try to get down there with my solo stuff. I got a lot of family in the Tampa St. Pete area, so love to get down there and play for them, and then kind of wagon wheel out of Tampa and hit some other spots because you can get to a lot of cool places around there. So, and I love Florida. I know it's a crazy fucking wacky place, but I've been going down there since I was a kid visiting family and stuff, so I love it.
Yeah, you seen all the Florida man stuff?
Oh yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
I love it. Mine was like if you search my birthday, which was July 13th. It was an armless man stabbed tourist from Chicago in the street.
Have you seen this, Ryan? Have you heard of Florida man?
It's
No.
pretty great. You see-
Florida man is the essence of everything that's insane about Florida. Because all the headlines always say, Florida man does this fucking insane thing. And so it became a thing. You type in your birthday and Florida man and whatever the headline is, like, you post it around on Facebook. Old people shit,
I see.
Really, Floppy?
Yeah, you
Apparently
search-
Floppy Dongus shares a birthday with you.
Oh no shit!
Yeah.
I'm honored.
You fucking should be.
Floppy
That's
dongus.
floppy dongus.
Floppy dongus, you're famous.
August 26th.
You Google it right now.
Florida man. All right. Live on the show, revealed for the first time. Florida man arrested by police after demanding cash and donuts from Krispy Kreme. That wasn't that
That's
funny.
about boring as hell, man.
Yeah, that's like the lamest one you can get of all the
Yours.
things out
You
there.
search yours.
I actually never have.
Let's do it live.
I'll do it right now.
Wait, this
is
is a
happening
real
now.
news story? Is
Yeah.
that the thing?
Yeah, they're all real.
They're all
That's
real.
the thing.
It's crazy. I thought it was a joke mythical
I feel like
character.
you can maybe do
No.
it for a lot of states, but the Florida one.
Florida one's just the best.
Perfect.
Florida man puts semen in coworker's water and November 9th.
Oh shit!
I got more here.
I also got Florida man tells his cop his name is Ben Dover.
You had the jackpot on yours, man. Damn.
Oh, God.
I got more here. Florida man charged with exposure at Pensacola Strip Club.
Okay. Classic Florida man gimmick.
Florida man who mailed pipe bombs to Trump critics pleads guilty.
Oh, my
That
God.
was a real thing.
Jesus.
Okay, that's a terrible segue.
I was going to say it's a perfect segue. Weirdly, how that fell into our lap. But you had the opportunity to play
Yeah.
for the President of the United States.
Yeah.
How was that?
Of,
It was incredible.
Of America, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
United
Yes.
States of America.
That's right.
45th President of the United States. It was incredible. And I always tell people in interviews and stuff, like, I don't give a fuck about your politics.
Sure.
I got to play for the president.
Yeah, you got to pay
And I got
it
to
was
play,
the inauguration, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I got to play on like the lawn in front of the Lincoln Memorial
That's nuts.
Thousands and thousands of people there, no matter what anybody says. I saw them with my own eyes, and just tons of military, all the staff, everybody who was working behind the scenes was awesome because there's a lot of controversy around it.
Right, of course, yeah. As there is with everything these days.
Yeah, everybody. There's a bunch of people that pitched fits and stuff, but we did it anyways, and I think that was smart. Like
it sounds crazy to turn that down.
Yeah, I mean,
to play in D.C. in front of the Lincoln Memorial for the president at the inauguration, which there's only been a few of those since our history started.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
45
of them. Yeah, since our history started. Like that's nuts.
Yeah, I mean, it was an absolute honor. I'd do it again in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
That's cool.
Like I said, I don't give two fucks about.
The politics have nothing to do with it. It's just I
don't want to hear it. I don't want to like. We got a bunch of stuff for it, and we had like soccer moms attacking us in weird ways and stuff, and it was embarrassing for them. Like I feel sorry for the people that like get that bent out of shape over. Oh my God, they're playing for the president. I don't like that president. I'm gonna get on there and tell him to go die, and like just horrible shit that I was like, I don't know you. This is weird. And all I did, like, I never responded to anybody. I just blocked them.
Yeah, just like settle down, Karen. All right.
Yeah. It was stuff like it was mostly like soccer moms and weird shit. You're like, damn, y'all, like, you're gonna like say this like really messed up stuff to a total stranger.
Yeah.
Like,
so to be clear, you were a band that performs for people, and then somebody asks you to perform. And they happen to be the president this time instead of just like a random booking agent in Tallahassee. And you were like, yes, we'll play. What an honor. And then people told you to die.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And that was like some of the nicest things people told us to do was die.
Y'all.
But like my favorite thing about it is we announced it like 2 weeks, 3 weeks leading up to it. Mm-hmm. SNL got a hold of it, which, like, I'll go on the record. SNL is not funny. There is nothing funny. It hasn't been funny.
It's been a while.
Probably 10 or 15 years. Yeah. Chris
Or
Farley.
what's his name was funny.
Will Ferrell. Like, those early days with them, like,
Adam
it was
Sandler.
funny. It is no longer funny. It is dumb.
Yeah.
And
I'm with
they
you.
got a hold of it, and it was kind of an honor because it's like, oh, shit, like, they're making fun of us on SNL.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Yeah. And then it went away. Like, I think that there's, like, this initial knee-jerk reaction where they're like,
yeah,
maybe if we attack them on the internet, they won't do it, and then we'll feel vindicated. But we did it anyways, and then it just went away. Like
you have to at that
right?
point.
Yeah, you're not gonna back down.
Yeah.
You kidding
Especially
me?
like some dipshit on the internet.
Yeah, because fucking
No
Karen
offense
with like the short
dipshits
cropped
on the
hair,
internet.
like 40-year-old mom.
Yeah, I mean, like
she got that face that just says like, I want to see a manager. You know what I mean? Like that girl.
Yeah.
Like, what are you?
Yeah. Well, shut up, Karen.
Go, Karen.
But and that was the thing. Is like we went and did it. Excuse me. And it was it was an honor, and it's something that, like we did that, and it has like honestly like it never affected anything about the career. Like we've
Wasn't
had
that great?
Same people coming out to the shows. We've had like our records did great that whole weekend because it was great exposure. Yeah. And then, if anything, there was more people that were like, "Hey, like I'd never really heard of you guys until you did this, and I want to listen to you now." That's cool that you guys stood up and did that. And
wasn't it great? Like you, for you. That's a memory you'll have for your whole life. You decided to not back down under pressure, and so for the rest of your life, you're gonna be proud that you did that.
Absolutely.
For the people who got upset about it, for like 1 to 3 days, they had a conniption and tweeted on a random band's Facebook, and then moved on, and will never think about it again.
Nope.
No, they're upset about other things now.
Yeah, they moved in 15 minutes. They were pissed off about something else, and that,
Yep.
I think it speaks like very much to our current political climate and times and
chaos.
Just the internet and like the weird anonymity you can have on the internet and say horrible, horrific things that if you said that to somebody in person, you'd probably get the shit knocked out of you.
But they won't do that in person.
But they won't do that in person.
Unless there's like 1,000 of them all at once.
Yeah.
You know?
So I don't know. I think a lot of it too is like I think people are just like they're handed everything now. Not necessarily like monetarily, but you got everything at your fingertips. It's like all the information you could ever ask for. Like you got all these different things to make your life very easy, and people are looking for something, anything to have like a big purpose. And I think a lot of it sometimes ends up being something internet focused, and I don't know if that's healthy. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know anybody who like worked 60, 70 hours that week and still had time to get on the internet and tell me to die for playing for the president. You know, I think they're like, I think anybody else who's like, oh fuck, I'm tired. Oh, they're doing that. Whatever. I'm going to bed. I got to work in the morning. And I'm not saying like everybody who gets on and like does whatever on the internet doesn't have a job, but I feel like there is like a little bit of like kind of lack of purpose going around these days. Where
Well, the thing is, it's like if you
don't
could
know.
find the right controversy, you could like blow up your blog and like you could become kind of
Yeah.
famous or like make some money from your ads if you can just like
Yeah.
if you can just spark people to be mad.
That outrage culture,
That
Yeah.
outrage will make money for you. It's sad,
Yeah.
but
which is nuts.
I got a question. Okay, on SNL, I'm gonna have to watch that.
Yeah,
skit
like I didn't
after
know
this
about
now.
that SNL
you'd have
thing.
to
about
dig
that.
for it. I think
Yeah.
like they went back. It was just like, oh, they got a high caliber band like Three Doors Down to play. It was stuff like that, just little jabs. It wasn't anything.
It was like the
great.
news update or something.
Yeah, it was stuff like that.
Okay, I was
News
gonna ask
update.
you if it was like an actual skit, and I wanted to know who played you, but never mind.
I wish it would have been.
Did-
Who knows?
Yeah, I'm like, who could have played?
Now I'm like
I don't
trying
know.
to
I'm like
picture in
racking
my
my brain.
head, but that's just going to be offensive. So let's move on.
Yeah. That's another.
Oh man,
That's a,
Well, that's awesome.
Strange turn.
So anyway, that was a great accomplishment.
yeah.
Well, cool
I
thing.
agree.
That is really cool.
Wait, did you get to see the president? Did you get to meet him?
Didn't get to meet him. They had him like behind bulletproof glass.
Could
And
imagine.
yeah.
We played, and then Toby Keith played.
Nice.
So they kind of moved
Could
everybody
you
around pretty
could you
fast.
see him from where you were?
Yeah, I mean, he was like 10 feet away. Like him,
Oh,
and
damn.
the whole first family was like 10 feet away.
that's
That's
crazy.
nuts.
And he was clapping, like everybody knew the songs, like they're singing along to it, and you're standing like, holy shit, like,
Yeah. So I remember
Pretty crazy.
one of my big Three Doors Down memories was right after 9/11. I remember the song Here Without You came out, and the video had a lot of clips of just vets and people overseas.
yeah.
Sorry, not vets, people who were active military. And I believe
We've
I did-
always had a big support for military, police, first responders, all that kind of stuff. And especially then, like When I'm Gone was a big one. And Here Without You, of course. Like, I mean, just the words to that are not just military, but anybody who ends up being away from their families or loved ones for extended periods of time. I'm here
Yeah.
without you. Like, it speaks to the pretty profound lot of people who are traveling or away from their families for any amount of time, and a lot of people can identify with that, I think. And
yeah.
it was just kind of a natural thing. Like, it wasn't just, yeah, we support him, but I think too, like, even pretty much every time we play a show, anytime we have a meet and greet, somebody comes up and is like, hey, your songs got me through my deployment.
Oh wow.
And that's amazing. That's huge. Like, they're doing things that your average American couldn't even imagine. And to have them come up and be like, wow, this got me through this is pretty profound. It's like why you do music. Personally, like, I think that's why, so that people listen to your songs and get through the day. Maybe not just military, but just anybody. Like, you write a song and you're like, man, I hope somebody gets something out of this, you know?
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I think Brad's lyrics and just the way Three Doors Down has handled themselves through their career and done stuff for the military and stuff has really spoken to that, and just the caliber of people that they are and who they're willing to help and want to help and be a part of and stuff. It's cool.
Yeah, and
Cool
I'd
to
say,
be a part of.
to this day, how long ago was 9/11?
Well, 2001, so 18 years.
18 years later, when I think of 9/11 and think back to that time, like the Three Doors Down song, to me, Here Without You was very much a part of the post 9/11 patriotism that people had and like coming together and supporting the military and no, there was such like a reconciliatory. I don't want to like
and there was
reminisce
like,
about 9/11 right now.
Yeah, but there was like 5 solid minutes where the whole country was like united.
Yeah, it was kind of amazing. In it was like a terrible situation.
It's like a shit show now.
Yeah, it sucks that it takes a tragedy, but
but
some things just bring everybody together.
Do you remember the feel of like tension, relaxation of just like, oh, we're all on the same side right now.
Yeah,
we're all Americans.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it was pretty cool.
Yeah. So you Canadians watching, you don't get it.
Yeah, Canadians.
Floppy. I know you're Canadian.
You always hope we can get back to that without a tragedy. Like there's got to be some kind of common ground we can come together on.
It's the wishing machine.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Oh shit. Maybe it is, man. Pocket rubies for every family.
For every family in America. That's the charity we're starting today.
Right before you were about to go to this deep.
We were on to something, man. We were on to something.
Almost like came up with world peace just now.
We were on to something.
And then we hit the wish machine. No! It's all ruined!
Well, now that you've successfully killed the intense emotional moment we're having.
God damn it, no, about America! I wish this were a real mic stand I could move. I mean, it is a real mic stand, it's just too serious. America! Love each other! We're all one, no tragedy.
Yeah.
That's
Come on, y'all.
Moment's gone. Moment's gone.
Come on, y'all.
Well, should we can we do another song?
You want 2 songs or just one? How many you guys normally do? That depends on what I'm going to play next.
It varies.
If you want one more song, I'll play the one I usually end with. But if not, I can do another. No matter. What do you guys
One
want?
more, and then our outro. We like play something from your Spotify, which we can play you or we can play Three Doors Down. Either way.
Let's do my Spotify.
Cool.
Get me some plays, man. Damn.
We'll just leave it on loop.
Okay, so you have to do one line.
I can try to do this one. It's called Wild Mustangs. I'm going to probably put it out in a little while.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So this is a new one.
Yeah, it's not the next one coming out because you played that one earlier, right?
Because I was thinking if you're going to play something from Spotify, probably She's Got the Highway, which has been my most recent single.
Got it.
So I don't want to do like She's Got the Highway and then She's Got it. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So
I just want to
back.
drill that shit into people's brains.
Drill it into their brains. Yeah, I think I'm going to do this one.
Cool.
It's called Wild Mustangs. I wrote it with my buddy Richard Mitchell. Summer rain beating down the dust. Wild Mustangs at the window. We're running just like me and you running too. When love was all we had. Grenadine tequila got our courage up. Roadhouse in Reno, we decided that we should just say I do. The church bell drive through. Looking back, I wish we had. I wish we had. I think about you almost every night, saying, hold me, baby, hold me, baby, hold me tight. I hear the thunder and I feel the wind. There's a storm blowing up from the west again. It's like a goodbye kiss I can't take back, like walking away from what we had when we were summer rain and wild Mustangs. A crowded freeway and the traffic lights. A song comes on and it feels so right. It hits me like it used to do back when you were right here next to me. I think about you almost every night, saying, hold me, baby, just hold me tight. I hear the thunder and I feel the wind. There's a storm blowing up from the west again. It's like a goodbye kiss I can't take back. It's like walking away from what we had when we were summer rain and wild Mustangs. Whoa, 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 whoa. I think about you almost every night, saying, hold me, baby, just hold me tight. And well, I hear the thunder and I feel the wind. There's a storm blowing up from the west again. It's like a goodbye kiss I can't take back. It's like walking away from what we had when we were summer rain. Summer rain, whoa. Summer rain and wild Mustangs. Wild Mustangs.
And we're back. So, we are wrapping up here pretty soon, but there is something we have to do that's super important. You know what I mean?
How important?
Maybe the most important thing. Maybe the entire reason why we started this show.
The whole reason we're here. The explanation for wishing machines.
A wish machine will help you with this.
All right.
You say it will or won't?
Won't.
Well, it's true.
So we have a
There's
question.
no time for an oscillator.
So if you crack open one of those boxes, there's nothing in it, right? Like it's just knobs. It's just knobs on wood, right? Like
It's knobs on wood. It's not connected to anything.
Not the internet tubes.
I mean, fuck me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it's not connected to anything.
Watch. He's gonna call you up. Be like, look.
You
Got it wrong.
Man.
There's wires and stuff, receptors, signals being picked up from the universe.
Flux capacitor.
At least one.
I'm gonna get a letter from his lawyer or something. Please redact all your statements about the wishing machine. We wish you would redact all your statements.
They don't have
They don't
to
need to send
you a letter.
anything. They just turn the right knobs.
Turn the right knobs.
It's like it
and
never
this shit-
happened.
It's like this show never happened. You just rub that pad enough.
One day I wake up, I'm like, do you
Turn it.
remember when Justin was on the podcast?
Yeah. Wiped from history.
It's like getting like the Men in Black neuralizer, nebulizer.
See, they're coming out with the new
neuralizer.
Men in Black?
Yeah.
What the hell? It's been like
Hey,
a lot of
that's
years.
all Hollywood does is recycle shit.
Yeah.
Man.
It's
Like,
a whole
there's-
different everyone.
And
can't
yeah,
remember.
Will
No
Smith's
one's
not
the
in it.
same.
That's a whole other fucking conversation right there with Hollywood and it's who hadn't the last original thought in Hollywood for movies.
I believe it was Rod Serling.
Twilight Zone in the 60s.
I mean, it's like either a book or let's just remake a classic movie.
Yeah. Whiplash was good. That was original, right?
Whiplash was really good.
What?
Was it original? I think it was original. Right?
I don't know. They just watched
Did you ever
drummers,
see
but
that
it was
movie?
amazing.
I don't think I saw that.
Dude, you should watch that movie. It's real good.
really good.
It's about a drummer. It's really
Oh,
good.
okay.
It's
Jack
amazing. Blew my mind. One of the best movies I've ever seen, and I am real critical.
John Wick is cool. Does a lot
John
of gun
Wick.
stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Number
I like
3's
guns.
coming.
John Wick
You like
is
it? I like
I like
guns.
guns.
Yeah.
I Lock
Love
guns. So we have an important
We have an
question.
important. We
All
ask
right, what
every
you got?
guest this question.
What you got?
Every single one.
Hit me.
If you had to pick,
And you do.
and you do.
All right.
Now, here's the important thing, though. It can't come
Is
from.
this a would you rather?
This is not.
Ooh, in the future, though,
Well, we could have a backup
when
we're
everybody
doing,
knows this question already,
Some like really dark
Right.
and horrible would you
Yeah,
rather?
should
actually,
get a would you rather.
Justin on, not you, Justin, other Justin on Friday.
There's
coming-
another one.
No,
Yeah,
that
by the
Justin-
way,
he
tune
already
in
knows
on
the question.
Friday
We can't
because we're
ask him.
doing this again with a
I
different
know. We only
Justin.
want to do one a week. We're doing 2 weeks this week.
We didn't know if this Justin would be any good, so we're like,
Backup Justin.
I feel like I'm not offended by that at all. You haven't hurt my feelings even a little bit.
Well, if it helps, he is mainly an architect, does music on the side.
Oh fuck! All right.
Yeah.
He's probably way more interested.
Though, if you ever see a Hilton hotel being built,
Yeah.
he's in charge of that job.
Oh, shit.
I know, right?
Really?
Yeah.
Every Hilton?
Every in the U.S. Every fucking
There's a
one.
Hilton going to be built across the street from
Yeah,
here.
he's in charge of that
Damn.
project.
Damn.
Yeah,
Wow.
fucking nuts.
That's a big deal.
I know.
Anyway,
Completely
I
unrelated.
mean, it's no fucking wishing
High roller.
machine, though.
Yeah.
It's no
High
wishing
roller.
machine.
But
Okay.
it's getting a little loose. It's a
So
little
your
terrifying.
point is that Justin knows the questions, so we got to come up
yeah,
with
we got to come up with a
something
new
for
question
Friday.
on Friday. Yeah,
Not would you rather,
no.
but
So this answer can't come from here.
Okay.
It's got when I'm pointing to my head for those listening on the podcast. It's got to come from right here.
podcast listeners, he is now pointing to his heart.
Okay.
Okay, which means it's got to be a instant answer.
All right.
Okay, no delay. You ready?
I think so.
If you had to choose,
And you do.
and you do, what would you say is your favorite kind of turtle?
Box.
Box.
Whoa,
Wow,
that
that
was
was quick.
quick.
That was good. That was good.
That
We've
might
had-
have been one of the quickest answers we've had.
Now we've gotten box before.
Box. That was like a. It
was like a half a heartbeat.
I hasten to say it was an eighth note, but it certainly wasn't
An
a
eighth
quarter
note.
note.
Literally the first thing that came to mind, and I
very
immediately had a vision of being at my Aunt Rachel's house. My great Aunt Rachel, we call her Aunt Rachel. She's like a third grandma, and way out in Madison County in North Carolina, and she lived on a creek. And I stayed with her quite a bit growing up. And pretty much every weekend we'd go out there and just run around the woods, and it was an awesome place to grow up. I got to do some little bit of farming, nothing crazy, but I was exposed to that young, which is cool, and stringing beans and running around in cornfields and stuff, which I was really proud of. And we'd put these, just tub of muddy water out overnight, and box turtles love those things. And you wake up, there'd be box turtle in there, so we'd take it back to the house and outside of Asheville with my parents, and it was all fenced in, so you'd put a turtle out there, and they'd be out there for months. Just wander around. You put some lettuce, and they just wander the yard and hang out, and put some paint on their shells so you could see them and just cruise around. Yeah, we used to do that all the time.
That actually sounds super cool.
Box turtle.
That sounds awesome. All right, that's good. Now, yeah, we've gotten box before.
But it was a
Boxing
unique
ninja.
story.
Boxing
We've
ninja.
gotten ninja. Yeah,
Ninja.
Ninja's my answer.
ninja. Yeah,
Box is the first thing that came to mind.
yeah.
And
That's
then-
good. That's how we know it's from
good.
your heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It always surprises me that now some people answer this question in terribly,
Yeah. You
But-
do good. You do good. Some people do not do good.
but I would say there's a good 45 to 50% of people that answer really well.
And then have a story behind.
Yeah, and there's
why
always
they
some
like
story.
Which,
I'm like,
which I was always blown away.
yeah, everyone has a turtle story.
Like the whole point of the question is it's so random. You have to think off the top of your head. And they're like, well, this one time my grandma was a turtle. And she meant so much to
was
me. You're
like-
like, what the fuck?
Grandpa Pappy Joe was dying of cancer, and
Yeah.
a turtle came
Turtle
and delivered
donated
his
his
medicine.
Donated his kidney.
Who knew a turtle kidney would
He
work
lived
in a
another 10
grown ass
years on that
man?
turtle kidney. Strong kidney. Strong kidneys.
Oh, God.
This is great. There's a real story.
Yeah. And it's weird how many people got turtle stories, man. Like, I came
Everyone.
up with the question. I don't got a fucking turtle story.
You'll get one. If
Oh,
we
I
put you
do.
on
I
the-
did own turtles as a kid.
There you go.
I had 4. They were all named for the Ninja Turtles.
There you go.
They got Donatello got ran over by a car. It was really sad.
That's
Damn.
terrible. That's really sad.
That is not a good sound either.
No, the crunch squish mixture,
It's like
not
a bomb
great.
going
Why
off.
does everybody know the crunch squish mixture? Why does everybody know what a turtle sounds like getting run over?
Happens a lot. They're slow, man. Cars are fast and big. They're slow and little.
It's true. They're so slow that they're literally the symbol for slow on computers. And
Or
the rabbits
lawnmowers.
on the other side.
Yeah. Or what?
Lawnmowers.
Lawnmowers.
Yeah, riding lawnmowers. There's,
Oh,
there's
no.
a rabbit or a turtle.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah.
A rabbit. They're quick. They should be able to get the hell
Yeah,
out of the way.
this
That's their
thing
own.
is-
That's their
it's
own damn fault.
Fast or
It's a
slow
rabbit.
is the point.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant you running over rabbits with a
No,
lawnmower.
man.
I was like, holy shit! How can you catch it? That's one burly lawnmower.
I'm saying that, like you were saying, that's,
You're
that's
right,
literally
slow,
the
and then
symbol.
the rabbit on the other side.
Fast.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I was thinking about you riding a lawnmower running over a turtle.
Turtle.
Can you imagine the sound?
It's
It's
horrific.
terrible.
Anyways, on this horrific note,
Meanwhile, Shredder's up there just like
Shredder.
I was trying to remember the rats.
him and the Foot Clan Splinter.
Splinter.
Oh yeah.
Master Splinter. Master Splinter's no. Fucking riding lawnmower got another one. It's just you, me, Michelangelo. What a great ending to this show.
Great ending.
Got real weird
Some
real
good
quick.
Really
visuals.
appreciate
They
you
say
guys
it-
having me.
For the podcast listeners, he's giving us a very creepy look.
my
He's
mom's
clearly
gonna be
not
pissed.
glad that we had him.
Oh man.
So we're gonna go out with "She's Got the Highway," right?
Yeah.
So this is Justin Biltonen's.
Biltonen. You can look him up on Spotify. We also have his Instagram link in the chat, and also we post his website to all those awesome leather goods that he makes.
Yeah,
so check
what's
that
that
out.
called again?
Anchor and Field.
Anchor and Field. Really cool stuff. If you're listening, you can't see
Yeah.
it, but it was cool.
Yeah, and if you're not watching live or on the podcast or the YouTube channel, is probably in the description, the links. So I assume you put those there because you put them up.
Sometimes.
Just going on a limb here.
So
So this is She's Got the Highway by Justin Biltonen, and we'll see y'all on Friday with Justin Erholtz.
Yeah.
She loves the freedom of the open road. Suitcase in the back and she's ready to go. Find her favorite station on XM radio. And she loves the beauty and what she don't know. The truck stop coffee that keeps her going. Singing along, singing along, singing along. She's out there on her own, but she never feels alone. Cause she's got the highway, pulling every window down. That's her way, ain't afraid to sing it loud. On every beat, every mile, she turns up that dial. Feels like home when she's away. Cause she's got the highway, yeah, yeah. She's got a keychain from every state. She'll admit that she's bad with names. She won't ever forget your face. It only takes one time for her to learn every line and every verse till she's singing along, singing along, singing along. Cause she's got the highway, rolling every window down. That's her way, ain't afraid to sing it loud. On every beat, every mile, she turns up that dial. Feels like home when she's away. Cause she's got the highway, yeah, yeah. Cause she's got the highway, yeah, yeah. She'll send a picture home from everywhere she goes to let mama know that she's got the highway, rolling every window down. That's her way, ain't afraid to sing it loud. On every beat, every mile, she turns up that dial. Feels like home when she's away. 'Cause she's got the highway rolling every window down. That's her way, ain't afraid to sing it loud. On every beat, every mile, she turns up that dial. Feels like home when she's away. It feels like home when she's away. 'Cause she's got the highway, yeah. She's got the highway.